of Southern Queensland, QBL.
Thanks for joining us out here at the Clyburn Recreation Centre. QSL action on a Friday night. Toowoomba Mountaineers hosting the Gold Coast Rollers. 0 plays 0 in the early going here. And this one, game sponsor, Southern Cross Bricklaying. Program sponsor tonight is Fuji Xerox Business Centre. And our live stream sponsor, Stone Streets, going the extra mile since 1993, under a minute action underway. Joined in commentary by Mountaineers legend Stephen Glover. How are you?
Yes, mate, a very a frosty night. We see the visitors are pretty well rugged up over here, and a few comments walking in of their support crew and what's going on with the weather up here, and is it always like this? And yes, it is. Welcome to Toowoomba, and you wouldn't have a bit of home court advantage.
That's right.
Up the hill here,
but prefer it was a bit colder actually, but it's pretty mild for a Friday night. But women's action underway. Dare I talk about it, Steve? But the last game for the women should have won. We were here, North Gold Coast, top of the table, snatched. If I can use that terminology, probably snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. But now they have a chance to atone, so we'll see what adjustments they've made there. So Despina Dickerson and Georgia Bolton starting in the front court, Taylor Vellick in the middle there as well. The ever consistent and the rock of the side, Lisa Salmi's out there as well. And donning the 13 with a block there. Raquel Spees.
Yeah, great defensive play, and it's a great opportunity here for the Mountaineers. So looking to break the duck for all the teams, and the Rollers, bit of a battle early on in their season as well. So they've just got the one win from the 4 starts, and as you can see out on the court, a very, very young roster for the Rollers. So obviously some talented up-and-comers getting their opportunity to showcase it at this QSL level. So they'll be equally as eager to get out and get a win on the board and chalk up number 2 for the season. So I think we're in for a scintillating exhibition here in the women's contest. As Salmi goes to the bucket still looking to open up the account for either team. Couple of minutes in.
Down to the stripe to try and earn their first 2 for the Gold Coast. So the Mountaineers up against the Gold Coast Rollers. Thanks to those joining us on the live stream. Glenn Riedo. Who's the Mountaineers playing? Mate, Mountaineers haven't played since '93, Riedo. They're all the Mountaineers now. But it is. But the Mountaineers are up against the Gold Coast Rollers.
Taylor Sindamo makes 1 from 2 to open up the account for the Rollers. We see a bit of up-court pressure in man-to-man defence. So the Mountaineers look to try and settle early and get into their sets. Georgia Bolton with the deep 2 for the jump shot. She's been a great addition in the last couple of weeks, getting Georgia back, obviously heading overseas, getting a bit of experience under her belt, and some good pressure from the Mountaineers themselves force a turnover.
Probably good to see I'm sure for her, to see the ball hit the bottom of the net. She's been very good. She's had her struggles offensively scoring baskets. So that's a great sign.
Just tell you what, with Johnny Gouldson spinning the discs over on the corner now, so it's definitely trying to pump something up. He's got the volume cranked anyway.
I thought we were back at the High Court Cafe.
Yeah. The glory days. We're coming back. So we go. Mountaineers will get an inbound set from the side. One of the 4 high option.
I do like this 5-4. Unusual error from Lisa Selmy, I have to say. Didn't give her guard there much opportunity, but I like this 5 on the court for Toowoomba, so the 3 guard rotation, I guess you could say so, but now that we see Tracy Twytle into the game as well, and I said Lisa Selmy, who does everything.
The evergreen Lisa Selmy.
Yeah, we've run out of superlatives to describe her play, but she's been terrific for Toowoomba. And I think if they are to win this one, it'll come off the back of her putting up some usual consistent. There's a 3-ball from Desmond Dickerson. Catches the back half of the rim. Rollers rolling up the court. Ball hits the deck. 2-1. Both teams struggling to find the bottom of the net. Early going there. Offensive foul. Not
set there. Peacock went the early roll, might have just looked to slip there and caught the defender, so unlucky, but gets caught up.
It's good to see you. We've got viewing with us here. Dean Blake.
Brennan Jones, the prolific horse trainer from the Sunshine Coast. I hope it's a bit warmer up there. Warmer with winners filling the stockings.
Exactly. But full court pressure applied here from the Gold Coast. Broken down, turnover there though, says the Gold Coast comes back the other way, turns back over this way, 3-on-1. Messi Tyler takes some rebounds. Both teams just taking a little bit to settle in.
Two shots. Tracy Twytle gets herself to the stripe. Earns an opportunity to get a couple of bonus and makes good on the first.
Hands up.
Rebound, Taylor Valle. Distinct height advantage out there for the Mountaineers tonight too. Young team for the Rollers, so I dare say it will be something that Coach Cox looks to exploit, especially early on. Try go in there and find a bit of dominance in the key.
Yep, so we'll see how that unfolds. And we said thanks to all of here's Brendan Jones. Caldwell at Gympie tomorrow. Nice and warm here, boys, on the Sunshine Coast. It's not cold on Toowoomba. Missed the ice on the windscreens. 3 points.
On the buzzer.
The Mountaineers beating the shot clock. But yeah, Brendan Jones there's Glenn Reardon's tuning in from the gas fields, waiting for the footy. So thought he'd tune in. Good to have you with us, Reardo.
Get the early game on the TV up there, so it must be like us lesser folk just waiting for the free-to-air to come on.
Mate, Reardo's like you, mate. He's a common man.
That's it, mate. Just we battle for what we can get. Bit of up-the-court pressure from the Rollers. Dickerson looks to get in. Nice little step-through move. Scoop-de-doo! Rolls it down. Stretched out to a nice little buffer here for the Mountaineers. 6-point lead as they are. You can see the energy started to pick up. So look in transition.
Break, fast break.
Good finish, good pass. Seen enough. Coach Sarah Glazebrook, she's seen enough, calls a timeout, and they're going in to reassess. So good start for the Mountaineers.
Great energy, Steve. They've really pushed the ball. They're up 9-1, and they deserve to be so. But loving the way that they're turning defence into offence. You saw them run the first break there, executed perfectly. Spees led the break. We had, of course, then running the lanes and being rewarded was Georgia Bolton, and drops another 2. She's got 4 early in the piece. 9-1 to Toowoomba.
Yeah, it was a nice look there too from Spees. I think Coach Cox will be very happy with that. They've sort of started it on the defensive end. Got in there, put the pressure, really ramped up the energy from that end. They've reaped the rewards then on the offensive end. A couple of quick passes, good baskets in transition. And they'll be really looking to capitalise on that moving forward into these last 5 minutes of
so hopefully they don't get pipped on the post.
Quarter.
We'd hate to see them get pipped on the post again.
That's it. Yeah, you would hate to get beat on the post, even worse. 3rd and 4th, but there we are. As we see, it looked like some full court looking to trap. Ooh, a bit of a loose pass. They do break the full court pressure and bubbles out. Speeds on the rebound, and they
just a little bit of miscommunication there.
Travel from the Rollers. So they've just struggled to settle in early and get into some rhythm early on in the game.
They apply a bit more of that on-ball pressure.
Bolton looks to operate off a high screen from Speed. Oh, she had the open jump shot. I don't know. As you said earlier there, she's had a few troubles in trying to make those jump shots and second-guessed herself.
Raquel Spears didn't second-guess herself. Works hard down low. As position, drops it in for the 2, and we'll see if she can make it a 3-point play. She's another of this young brigade for the Mountaineers, Steve, that I've been quite impressed with. She's got quite a bit of talent. Johnny Gouldson saying that she's originally from the Sunshine Coast, up here studying, so former state rep. So if any of that's incorrect, you can blame John Gouldson.
Would not be like Johnny Gouldson to twist the truth in a good story, mate. He'll tell you what you want to hear, old Johnny.
And then we see the Mountaineers apply some full court pressure to the Rollers. So they do have them under pressure at the moment on the scoreboard, and they're looking to really turn the screws.
Foul action. Ooh, she did well there. Just might have been a foot on the line as she
really put a body on the line there. So again, you can see again, Stephen, we've seen this a number of times, and we've commented with this young women's side, whilst execution-wise at times haven't been perfect and down the stretch, etc. But you've always seen for Coach Cox, I think it's a credit to him, is their girls, they do play hard. And you can see that they're out there always giving it their all, and that's a prime example of it. Taylor Valak onto the floor.
Some good defence there. Yeah, well, Matt Cox actually did the men's QSL last year and did a really good job. And he's one of those coaches that it's not just about what he's doing, trying to win each week to week. It is building and building a program and trying to get some processes and some roles in place confidence for the 2-3 year plan that he's got, and he's obviously taken the reins for the women. As you see a long bomb go down from Halle Baker. So yeah, taking the reins this year, and he's looking for that 2-3 years down the track, and hopefully the progression back into the NBL 1. So getting this program in a state where it will be competitive once we take that step back into the NBL 1. But he's done a great job.
Yeah, you can see the way they play. You can see the way they play. He's got a good structure for them there, and they believe in it. And just a couple of wins on the board, I think, and you really see this girls' team thrive. I do actually remember in the pre-season, another legend of the Mountaineers, Trevor Grieve, told me the women would have success this year. Great play there. Salmi drops in a nice 2, and again, well put together on the fast break there from the Mountaineers. They're up 10 early.
Malak, another hand in the lane. She's been good at the back of that press. She's been able to pick off the loose pass, get a hand in the lane, get a deflection. And as you see, even though they haven't got the stop there, that's run down a bit of time off the shot clock. It's going to limit what Gold Coast can set up now. They're going to have to get into their set pretty quick and look for an opportunity. As they do, taking it into the tall timber. Caitlin Donovan. Ball will stay with the Rollers with 10 on the clock. Oh, an easy bucket. Ella Gordon just pops into the middle of the key, and what do we got here? Violation, is it? Violation call, step over the baseline. So that probably won't be what Coach Matt Cox wants to see when you get yourself a bit of a lead, an easy turnover off the back of points.
2 minutes 30 to go here in the first. Gold Coast on a little bit of a run here, 5-0 run in fact. It's 14-1 as they've peeled off 5 straight.
So drop back in, giving a bit of a 2-3 zone look.
Gold Coast moving the ball nicely.
Ends up 2 on the clock, it winds down.
A rolling hook. Yeah. Mountaineers with a chance now to run. Dickerson gets into the lane. Draws the contact, but
jump ball possession arrow with the home team. I tell you what, it's a pretty good crowd for a Friday night early on in
Garden City. Exactly. Thought that as I arrived nice and early, ready for the game. There's people rolling in everywhere.
If you are listening to the live stream, you're out and about. No better place to come out than the Clive Berghofer Centre out here at the USQ for some live action as Salmi does her best to put on a show.
Does what she does. Again, just a good shot, pump fake, gets the defender in the air. That's a really good, solid.
It's just your bread and butter basketball, isn't it?
Savvy, isn't it?
Come on.
Extra one. A little bit eager, the young Rollers team, to get in there and find their position. Hard off the back of the iron once again, and the Rollers get away with one there. They look to operate, so Mountaineers doing a good job in defence. Finds down bottom. That's a good find down there from Ella Gordon.
And Sid, thanks to all those tuning in our live stream. You got some fans. You Brendan Jones. Steve Glover should make a comeback.
Yeah.
Is that a no?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, yeah. If it went like it went in your head and you thought you could do what you could do, you'd be happy to make a comeback. It's when you get out there and you do what you actually do, that's when you know that it's probably not a real good idea.
16-8.
3.
It's been better from the Gold Coast. I think it's important here for Toowoomba to finish this quarter strong. They've been dominant. Dickerson gets in the lane, drops a nice little 2 there.
Spin, that famous number 10 with the Dickerson name across the back. We've seen that many a times fill up the hoop. Father Clarence Pop, legend.
The legend.
And actual legend. Not one of those just words you just throw around. Use willy-nilly.
Absolute legendary name, Dickerson, in basketball here in Toowoomba. The great man, he's probably in the stands, I'm sure, watching his daughter, proudly watching on.
Speeds, you've got 30 seconds to play. 11 on the shot clock. Baseline possession for the Mountaineers. We see a substitution. Bolton in for Salmi. He might have something up his sleeve here, Matt Cox. Right, just romps over a low screen.
Missing. That one right in front of our commentary position. Looked good out of the hands and
2010.
well, finished well. 2010.
Good quarter. We'll be looking here to close off with a strong defensive set. That's a nice pass. That's a good play back screen, wide open. Caitlin Donovan.
They did struggle early on at the Gold Coast, but we've seen them really come to life, Steve, in this, probably the last 3 or 4 minutes of this quarter.
Yes,
they've executed what they've done. Plays like that, as you said, was a really well executed play. You get an easy bucket, an easy look, and make the most of it. Yeah,
certainly have. They probably had a few nerves, and the thermostat might have taken a little bit of time to adjust, as well as we've got some chaos here. Big fella's kicking around the light stand. But no, they've settled in now, 20-12. Like, it wasn't an ideal. Probably those 12 points, the majority of them would have come in the last 5 minutes of that quarter. So, but they've done well. And as you did mention, some of the plays that they've done, they've got some wide open jump shots. So that's going to be something very encouraging for their coach. Maybe a little bit of concern for what Cox will be talking about in the huddle over there as well. But definitely something that they're able to work on. And he'll be looking to maybe switch up those screens. They do have the height advantage inside, so I think they could switch those back picks and be able to maybe defend that situation a little bit better.
Yeah, so I think there's been some really positive signs for Toowoomba. They've run the ball quite well. So, as we said a few times, where they've been able to apply that pressure defensively, turn it into offense, get some cheap buckets. They've run the lanes really well, and they've got a lot of fast break points as the official score sheet rolls in, and that'll probably be reflected, I'd suggest, 2 fast break points here. No, not really 2. But anyway, so
Joel Seavey over there on the scoreboard.
You know what he's doing.
His job, I mean, not just pressing the wrong buttons, but anyway. But yeah, they have. They've really looked to up the ante on the defensive end, put some pressure on, turn defense into offense, and I think they've definitely reaped the rewards from that. So points off turnovers, they've been able to couple up 8, so nearly half of their points off a turnover, being able to really twist the knife once they've got a bit of a grab of it.
And looking at scores, it's been well spread across the board. Georgia Bolton, 2 or 3, she's got 4. Lisa Salmi, 2 or 3, she's got 4 also. Desmond Dickerson, 2 or 4, she's got 4, so you can see quite a spread of scoring there. Tracy Twider with 3 on the board there as well. Raquel Spees has got 3, so you can see that's another thing we've seen as well, is a really good balanced scoring across the board that you can see there from Toowoomba. So rattle off there. Look, a number of players already on the score sheet, not relying on any one player to score a lot of the points. So positive signs for Toowoomba. But I do think that the Gold Coast would have gained quite a lot of confidence instead out of the back half of that quarter. It's Desmond Dickerson again.
She's really looking to be aggressive off that dribble, get herself into the keyway and get that little jumper or the little step through layups that she's been able to capitalise on in the first quarter. And I think you said that last week, when you keep going to the well and coming up with water in your bucket, you keep dipping it in until it comes up dry.
Nice 2 there from the 7 from the Gold Coast, who started to find a little bit of rain, to refer to Janique O'Reilly. Forced the turnover here as well. Wide open 3, top of the lane. So we'll see if the Gold Coast can make the most of this possession here to chew into that margin. 8's probably as close as they've got in this contest. And we'll see as they run through their offense again. So they find the post player. Nice little hook in the lane there from Michaela Franklin.
Lovely little looky, here comes a hooky.
Certainly did. It looked pretty good. Georgia Bolton top of the key. Desmond Dickerson there on the corner. We'll see what Toowoomba.
Yeah, changed the pivot foot there, took a little jab, then wanted to go baseline, but did change the pivot. Doesn't look overly thrilled with the call.
I think a good timeout called here by Coach Matt Cox. As we said, it's a pivotal time in the game. Do you think you'd just be reinforcing what worked for them in that first quarter defensively, that where they had a lot of success is just being able to just play defense quite well, which they did in the first quarter. And they've lapsed a little bit in the opening stages here, and he's called a quick timeout to try and rectify that, I'd suggest.
Yeah, certainly has, and that's like they got off to a great start, and now it's about settling in. The Gold Coast have settled into their offense. Mountaineers need to settle into their offensive end as well, and just get into the grind of the game. Like, it's not going to be where you can blow a team out and win the game in the next 3 minutes. Just need to come down, do what works for you, get into your offensive sets, make sure you can get good shots, good blocks, looks, good opportunities, ramp it up on the defensive end, and make sure that we can just go bucket for bucket, get into that grind of the game, and like they were last week, put themselves in a position to win it when the whips are cracking, and hopefully be able to learn a lesson then from last week and get over the line with the nose down.
Yeah, probably took my next point I was going to say. Do you think that's an important part? Because as you mentioned last week, as we know, when it was 2 weeks ago, they were there to win the game, and just when things got into that rut, they just weren't able to get out of it. So hopefully, I suppose that's probably some of the learnings from that game, and just being able to get back to your bread and butter, get back to what works, and just not every shot's going to drop it. You just want to be able to get your team a good look.
Yeah, exactly right. Nobody's going to make every shot, as the Rollers can't get that one to tumble, but will get possession back. But yeah, you just want to run through your sets, make sure you know your options that you want to try and capitalise on, and make sure you're going to get them the looks and the opportunities on the offensive end. Just see a couple of changes.
And Tracy Twiddale and Lisa Selmy back into the game.
He's been very active on the substitutions throughout the night, so obviously he's trying to keep this tempo that we've seen early on, but make sure they don't run out of petrol at the end of the game, burn out by not keeping the legs fresh.
Yeah, and you can see that again. Look, what's that? So a majority of the players hit the floor in that first quarter. So a lot of players, as I said, just rotating through. So and that's probably one of the real strengths of this Toowoomba team is they do a pretty good guard rotation. So they are able to still be able to have enough players out there to handle the ball or get through their offense and things like that. There's a bit of depth there, which is important. As they force the turnover there.
Yeah, it's a good defensive effort from Cassidy Muir, but unable to control it as she attacked the basket. We see a change for the Rollers.
22-16.
Bolt given the responsibility of handling the ball in the back court. Twiddale. Dickerson looking to operate. Twiddale throws the jab, likes what she sees, a bit short on the three. That's a nice pass.
Beautiful lead pass.
Deserved to be finished. Bit unlucky there, but
terrific lead pass.
It's another one too. Looked like it was going to go to hand with the outstretched bolt. 4 on the clock. Going to have to get something up here.
Good option. Rims out.
Oh, I think it might be a bit of bad luck. Attacking the rebound was Taylor Sandamo. A bit unlucky. She did attack that ball well, and that's what you want to see from your players. So I don't think the coach will be too disappointed with the effort shown there.
Full court pressure again being applied by the Gold Coast.
The scoreboard's lay a bit stagnant for the last couple of minutes.
It's a quick shot, but a good one.
Never looked like missing. Brittany Hayes from the short corner.
Gets her name onto the score sheet. And that's a shooter if I've ever seen one. Didn't hesitate. Saw the shot, put it up, and never looked like missing.
Good defensive set for the Mountaineers. Bolton looks to push up the court. Caught on the ground. 9-point lead for the home team. It's Hayes with the inbound. Twido again likes to look at that. And that's the reason why. It's all the bottom of the net.
Shooting a pretty good clip too, I'd suggest, the Mountaineers.
And they're shooting the ball confidently too.
So 9 of 15 there in the first quarter, and yeah, as you said, they've exactly shooting the ball confidently there. So nice drive, great bucket there for the Gold Coast. A settler for the Gold Coast. So just stopping that little mini run there from it to Toowoomba. So that one was Taylor Sandamo getting away all the way to the bucket.
Salmi separated with the spin, good hands. On defence from Muir. Baseline ball, 10 on the shot clock. Twido. Speed. Strong move through. Split the gap.
Flips one up. Around the lane well there.
A nice fight in transition.
Good effort. Andy Brooker. Franklin back in.
Salmi gets a break. We see Emily Dirksen check back in. Short on the free throw.
So she's another one of those players we've seen that's come back now, Emily Dirksen. So missed a few games earlier in the year that we did. So you can start to see this young Mountaineers side getting back more towards full strength.
Speeds on the roll. On the arm will go to the stripe.
30-18, 5 minutes 21 to play. This is our live stream here, presented to you for the Toowoomba Mountaineers and our live stream sponsor, Stone Streets. So Stone Streets going the extra mile since 1993. So thanks to Stone Streets for their support. So go through the program. There's Trevor Grieve in action, lifetime of serving basketball, including being a Mountaineer, 20 years in. And a big event last week, Steve, that I was proud to see. The TBA referees, nice tip in the Golga, assisted in a Filipino Independence basketball tournament last week, Filipino Independence Day.
Yeah, and from all reports, that was an outstanding weekend of basketball.
Love it.
Participation was at an all-time record level.
I love it.
And the intensity was not far behind either. It's Dirks and wheels and deals. And
You've seen the Filipino Flash, Jack Assis in action every now and then.
Set, mate. I wonder how many triple spin, pirouette, fadeaway, three-point hook shots went up, because I tell you what, I've seen the assassin. I don't know what moves you'd call that he pulls out, but he's created some unique. It's great defence. Hayes picks that off the passing lane. Easy bucket. Extend the lead. 32-20.
This has been a really good stretch here for Toowoomba. They really want to ram this one home. Yeah, nice little shot in the lane there from the Gold Coast. That's the thing for Toowoomba. Whilst they are well on top, the Gold Coast just keep hanging around like this. You see it force a turnover, draw a foul. And again, Coach Cox has called the troops in. They want to talk this one over. 32 plays, 22. 4 minutes 24 to play here in the second. Our live stream coming to you from the Clyde Berghoff Recreation Centre here at USQ. Live stream sponsor for this one, Stone Streets. 32-22. 4 minutes to go. Steve, I think this time out, both teams, both coaches would be speaking with a fair bit of optimism and probably have a similar message. Toowoomba will be wanting to extend this lead, so to keep finding buckets that way, whereas for the Gold Coast, they probably see it as an opportunity just to chew into that margin, make sure they can keep it in single digits into the sheds at half time and be there when the whips are cracking in the second.
Yeah, mate, as always, like basketball's going to be a game of runs, and you see that's exactly what we're getting here tonight. A couple of turnovers from either team, probably some soft turnovers, and the other team is capitalising on that. Mountaineers have been able to extend the lead out to double figures at some occasions throughout this second quarter, but equal to the task at the moment. The Gold Coast, they aren't going away. They've been able to
every time they just are able to chip back in there every time. It looks like they're, as Toowoomba's getting onto a bit of a run, they can find sort of 4 or 5 straight points and things like that.
Long pass. Yeah, great pass. You always take them. It's Dickerson. Comes up with a loose ball to push. Bolt. Rating on the wing. Felt like it's Spees in a bit of two-man play.
Lucky there. That was a nice play from the two bigs.
Yeah, found the rolling Spees, but just wasn't able to make the bucket work. Pick up a lazy backcourt foul from the Mountaineers, and that'll put them into the team foul situation for the last 3 minutes 55. Good ball movement from the Rollers. Spelak fancies herself with the ball in hand. Looks to push up. Jackson muscles away in, rolls off the front. Transition, the Rollers, they've been good in transition, being able to really get deep into the keyway and find the cutters.
This full court pressure again has caused them a few little dramas in recent times. They break it pretty simply that time with the ball in the hands of Despin and Dickerson.
Another good defence. Oh, pick up a foul. Valak.
That'll be second or third. First even. That's
first. That'll be team fouls. This might have been, didn't really make a play at the ball. I didn't know whether we could get that one up on replay with the technical team out the back, but she didn't really, just tried to stop the play there, and Gold Coast did have basically what they call an open court advantage. So unsportsmanlike foul where no real attempt was considered to be played at the ball. So they'll get the 2 shots, and they'll also get possession back here from the half court. So an opportunity to close the gap. They take the 2 free throws. As Jade Peacock is successful on both. Rollers retain possession, and there we have that little mini run from the Gold Coast. Closed it down to a 6-point deficit. Inbound baseline jump shots short.
Oh. Rebound falls right in the lap. Goes up. Fouled. She'll go to the free throw line. That is Amelia Andrews for the Gold Coast.
Looking for her first points of the evening.
Andrews.
Makes the first one count. So this is as close as the Gold Coast has been from early on in the contest. So 32-27 makes the second one count as well. 32-28. Twinkling of an eye, a double-point lead is now a 4-point lead. 2 minutes 50 to go. This has turned out to be a pretty good quarter as they force another turnover. Possession arrow though with Toowoomba. Not surprisingly here as well, we see a couple more guards come into the lineup for Toowoomba, just struggling to break this pressure and it's forced a few turnovers. They break the pressure there quite easily. Forced their hands out. Cross drive. Georgia Bolton.
Deep drive, Bolton. Foul.
She'll go to the line.
2.
She could add to her tally tonight. 32-28 is the score. First one swishes through. Second one rattles through. But either way, the important stat is 2 from 2. Millie Andrews steps through. Some contact. No call there, though. She gets up gingerly.
Continues the aggression.
The balance. Sound.
Good defense there, I have to say, from the Gold Coast.
Clock winding down.
Stay with it. Great little play there. Taylor Valak lurking under the bucket. Georgia Bolton finds her. And you talk about these games of runs. A little 4-0 run for Toowoomba. Lead back out to 8. We've got under 2 minutes to play. Both teams essentially in the penalty. Flat-looking 3, finds the front. Now the Mountaineers, Bolton
Pulls up. Free throw.
just rims out that one.
Rollers looking to settle into a half-court set. Through Brooker, high on ball. Another lovely little hook, great touch from Brooker. Adds the 2s. Hayes running the lanes, gets rewarded.
Gets her own rebound. Kick it out.
Salmi. Taylor Valak's got the jumper going on tonight.
It's a nice 2 there for Toowoomba, 38-30. That lead back out to 8. We've got 38 seconds to play here before they head to the half-time interval. Great first half. You're enjoying the action. Andrews jumps a tough one in the lane. Toowoomba will slow it down. Essentially, they should or could
Have the opportunity for the last possession, should they so desire. Bolton's keeping an eye. See the flicks up to the clock. 7 on the clock. Not probably the outcome they were chasing as Andrews looks to push. Cops the bump, doesn't get it to go. And the whistle to go. He's happy to...
They'll go to the sheds, 38-32. Great first half of action here from USQ Clyde Berghoff Recreation Centre. Mountaineers up against the Rollers. And this one, our live stream sponsor, big thank you to Stone Streets. Game sponsor today here for the Toowoomba Mountaineers is Southern Cross Bricklaying. For those in the venue, if you've got a program sponsored by Fuji Xerox Business Centre. We're at the half, Steve, 32. 38 plays 32. 38-32 at the half.
Yeah, watching, we do have that score on the screen is
a little behind, but yeah, 38-32 is the official score, I can assure you. So 38-32. But Steve, I think a pretty good half of basketball from both teams. Both teams will head to the sheds with a fair bit of optimism.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think both coaches will be reasonably happy with what they saw out there. Everybody's got some things they'll look to change. A couple of easy turnovers, I think, for both teams when the pressure was applied in the backcourt. So I think that'll be something that both teams look to address. But yeah, Gold Coast will be pretty happy after that first 5-minute period. They settled in pretty well. They've got some great looks. I'll tell you what, there's some nice touch going on there with those little hook shots in the lane, both from the guards and the bigs. And the Mountaineers have been good too, getting some good shots. Jumpers seem to be going tonight. We've seen Twydale hit a couple of jumpers. Valak's chipped in there. Dickerson.
Kel
and
Spears.
Hayes as well. So it's been a very well-rounded effort there from the Mountaineers. Something that'll excite Matt Cox. Yeah, no doubt he'd been looking for that to be able to spread the load that Salmi over the previous weeks has probably been shouldering a lot of the burden of. But
well, I can tell you that Steve's a prime example that you'd run down the score sheet again. Multiple players on the score sheet. Tracy Twydale, 2 or 3. She's got 6. Brittany Hayes has got 5. Georgia Bolton's got 6. Elisa Salmi's got 4. Desmond Dickinson and Taylor Valak have both got 6. And Taylor Valak on a perfect 3 from 3 as well. And Raquel Spees has got 5. So pretty balanced scoring that you see across the board there for Toowoomba. And it's the same, to be honest, for the visitors. You see multiple players on the score sheet at the half. Michaela Franklin's got 4. Hallie Brooker has 5. A number of players there on 4 points. Janique O'Reilly and Jade Peacock both with 4 there as well. Amelia Andrews has got 4. Caitlin Donovan with 4. So you can see both sides where they've really been able to share the load there in terms of the scoring. A couple of those other key stats, if you want to really dissect them, I suppose you could say. So Toowoomba's had 12 points from turnovers, so they've really been good at that. 22 apiece in the paint, so both teams have had success there in the paint there as well. And bench, we've seen that contribution for them as well. And of course, Toowoomba's biggest lead has been 12. Gold Coast hasn't seen the front of the scoreboard since they led 1-0 right in the early going. That's the first half. Here at Sid, we're brought to you our live stream, this one by Stone Streets. We've got a pretty exciting second half coming up. We'll take a break and we'll be back with all the second half action.
Now the hard part is Michaelia. Come over here. There's the ball. You can't step past this positive choice forward. Okay? If you touch that, even if it
surely. There you go. That's outstanding.
That much talent run around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Down here, anything's possible. A first degree, a second career, a way to advance. As the #1 uni for graduate employment in Queensland, the University of Southern Queensland has helped over 100,000 students become more from more places, on their own terms, in their own time, with 24/7 access and over 100 online degrees. Become more from more places with USQ.
Toowoomba Together wants to break the silence by empowering our sporting clubs to join together and embed social change. Do we accept abusing players or officials? Not in our club.
Do we accept verbal, physical or mental abuse towards women, men or our kids? Not in our club.
Do we accept foul language? Not in our club.
Not in our club.
Not in our club.
We're back with the second half. 6-point lead for Toowoomba. The camera spins around to where it should be on the action. You don't need to look at us.
No, I tell you what, seeing that
Maybe
on the big screen, mate. What an early audition for Santa with all the greys going on in his beard come Christmas time. So we're underway. Second half. It's Rollers' possession, but they cough it up pretty quickly. Some good hand in the lane defense. Bolton finds Dickerson. Jump shot is good. Really kicking on from the 55% they shot from the field in the first half. So that's a great clip. So from the field, 58.3 and Gold Coast answered back with 3. 58.3 from 2 and 40% from the 3 line for the Mountaineers. That'll be up to 50 now. So shooting at a good clip. It's just the turnovers like that they'll be looking to eradicate from the game. Nice little trail find to Ella Gordon.
It's just those little turnovers like that, aren't they? And they're the things I'm sure as the season progresses, or the game progresses, that Coach Cox is another one that occurs there. They need to get out of their game. So all of a sudden it's a 2-point lead. We mentioned this before, that the only time the Gold Coast has led this game was when they led 1-0. This is as close as they have been all night.
Salmi wheeling and dealing. Comes up short. An opportunity to level up the scoreboard or even take the lead with a long bomb.
Here it might be.
See.
Boom.
And it's good.
Never missing. Talk about runs, Steve. It's been a really, really good run. What was the score? What did I say? Was it half time?
Up
38-32.
38-32.
So they've gone a 10-2 run to start the second, and in quick time. We haven't even played 2 minutes of the third.
And it's come from their extended pressure from the Gold Coast on defence. They've been able to force a couple of early turnovers, make a couple of shots. This dinner is delivered. It smells delicious. The caterer's out here at the Clive Berghoff.
From Fat Burger.
Oh,
Our
Fat
man.
Burger. Oh. That's one place that is worth visiting if you do make the trek up the hill.
Fat Burger, yeah. There's nothing like it on the Gold Coast, I can tell you.
Spees, Bolton, bit of tunnel ball there. Dickerson likes the look of it.
42-41.
Important here that the Mountaineers don't go into panic mode. They've been able to get some pretty good options thus far in the game. So even though the lead has changed hands, need to stick with it, not try and change too much of what they've been doing just because of that.
And that's what I was talking about before, Steve, and that's what happened last week, where when things got a little bit tight, they just weren't able to execute. And as you said, so let's see what they've learnt from that a week ago, because like you said,
score on the pinball, speaking of Fat Burgers. A couple of nose. I'll tell you what, nothing worse than copping a ball in the nose on a frosty night. The eyes will be watering. The nasal passages will be running.
But yeah, as we were saying before, you've said it so many times, there'll be runs. It's a game of runs, and you just need to hang in there when there are situations like this. So this has been the best stretch for the Gold Coast all night.
Salmi rattles around one.
Probably an interesting way for me to say this, but probably a good thing in Toowoomba's favour is Salmi hasn't really had the impact on this game that we've seen her have on others. So I'm sure we'll see a stage in this game, and possibly when we get right down to the crunch, where you're going to see her, we're going to see all of that. Basket waved off, 3 in the key. I'm sure we're going to see all of that vet savvy from Lisa Salmi, particularly down the stretch when, dare I say it, I reckon we're going to the wire, Steve. That just seems to be a trait of these Mountaineers. They know how to make one nice and viewer-friendly.
Do it for the ratings, the millions of people out there on the Stone Street live stream.
Yes, and they just need to settle down. It's a bit of a mad sprint at the moment. There's Lisa Salmi inside.
7 points, Salmi.
Well, I was thinking of my statement before saying she's got 7 points. She's probably the leading scorer, but I think you know what I mean. She's always been so dominant for this team. As the Gold Coast have to try and add to their tally.
Loose ball foul. On the Salmi there. Get a few fist pumps from the crowd.
Oh, he'd swear you back to winner at Carnarvon, wherever that is. 42-44. Nice little drive into the lane there from the Gold Coast.
6 points, gentlemen. Salmi. 9. Away.
Dickerson. Off to Twydale. Attacking the low base. Salmi. Couldn't get herself involved in the game. Overcooks that one.
44 all. Won't get much closer than this.
The Rollers, ball movement, haven't hit the rim on that shot. Look to attack, kick out. Foul called. I think it's a nice little stingy slap too, right across the...
Another thing that's nice to get, isn't it, on a frosty evening in Toowoomba?
Backdoor
Well
cut.
done, Raquel Spees, and she's going to start the break. A number of players up, running into the lane. Bolton a little bit out of control there. Jump ball.
Chelsea Orbell, I think first minutes of the night.
Making them count. Possession arrow stays with Toowoomba. See if they can retake the lead here. Kel Spees, a little step through the lane, puts that one a little bit hard off the board. Ball pinballing around. Gold Coast off and running.
O'Reilly as Franklin cleans up the loose play.
Nice drive. I think if we had the NBA system there of the big screen review, that one might have been touch and go.
Send it up.
Yeah, but that one stays in favour of the home team. 44 all. This one's settled down a little bit here now. We had a pretty frantic start with the Gold Coasters scoring strongly early in the game, early in this half. .44 apiece, 4:30 to play here, third period.
Just the 6 points for the Mountaineers in this third quarter, so scoring is somewhat dried up. Sorbell working in the post. Draws the foul.
So that's going to edge the Gold Coast ever so close to that penalty of it's their fourth team foul. So
Bolton steps behind. The Gold Coast have looked to be aggressive in the transition, push the ball up the court.
It's probably something they weren't doing early in the game, Steve, but they really have as we've got into, as we said, they had a slow start, but once we got past that first quarter, absolutely.
Good rebound. Down low for Peacock, who's been good in that area. That 3 ball gets locked and looted by Brooker. 3
points, their biggest lead of the night. Trailed by double digits at different stages.
Salmi.
They're very keen to pump the ball into the post there to Chelsea or Bell. But while she's on the court, pretty keen to use her as a target down low.
Penalty for the Rollers. So Orbell will go to the line. Trying to add her first points of the night, and this will put all Mountaineers players, if she can capitalise here, and she does. So every Mountaineers player who has hit the court has been able to contribute on the score sheet. Misses the second. Does cut the margin to 2. It's Gold Coast again being aggressive in transition. Bit hard off the board. Bolton saying 2 can play it. That game goes coast to coast, but doesn't go with the left hand. Salmi forces the tie ball. And the Rollers will have it. We see substitutions. Orbell gets a break. It's a fairly active contribution she had on the court there, as you say. She did find the ball and seemed to be somewhat of a target down low in the post.
47-45, so the Gold Coast here, the slight ascendancy is Johnny Gouldson, and the only way he can tries to get the defence chant going from this large and vocal crowd here at the Clyde Berghoff Recreation Centre.
Deflection.
Said, Steve, good crowd in to the venue as well for a Friday night.
Another deflection. Hayes back-to-back deflections. 8 seconds on the shot clock for the Rollers to operate. Some sort of quick hit play they'll be looking for.
It's a little step through.
Hayes. Bolton. Stops, props, Salmi, boards. Looked to be a bit of contact there, but nothing forthcoming from the referees. Dickerson misses it all.
5 team fouls for the visitors as well here, so see if they can get something where they need to take advantage of it, force that, get to the line. It's one way to get cheap buckets.
Yeah, they did try and look like they were trying to force the issue inside there, but the Rollers' credit, they kept their hands out. Tap from Kennedy doesn't go. Dickerson, open opportunity in the open court. Draws a foul.
That's something I think Desmond Dickerson does quite well, leading that break. Knows how to draw that contact. And unfortunately, the shot can't drop, but she'll go to the line now to see if she can make the most. Try and level this one up.
Something close there as Johnny Gouldson lets out a few ooh-ahs. Voice is disappointed. That one rattles around too. It's a none from 2 for Dickerson. Nice pass running the lane, doesn't finish again. They've had some very good opportunities. They have some great lead passes in transition to find the open player, but just haven't been able to gather that control on the finish, the Rollers, on a couple of occasions as Salmi backs down again. Refs seem to be letting this one flow a little bit, end to end. Bolton double teaming the corner, gets it up to Hayes.
Good court vision there. So
4 on 3 for the Mountaineers. Out of court. That's something I think that Gold Coast have done a little better when they've had the play with the ball. Taking that aggressive line to the basket. They've had the lane runners fill those spots for the little dish or the little handoff. So they've done that a lot better than what Toowoomba have done in the open court transition.
Yeah, it's probably something Toowoomba's gone away from. I think early on, just even that first quarter when Toowoomba had a good run, that's an example you're talking about. They're great little dish inside for an easy 2. But Toowoomba early on, I thought, ran the lanes well and found good options and numbers. But yeah, as it's progressed, probably they haven't done it as well. And that is showing on the scoreboard because they did get quite a few buckets that they were able to manufacture along that way. As Salmi, solid drive, pump fake, gets into the middle of the lane, drops that little 2. Just what her team needed as well. Just a little stop there in terms of the momentum of it all being the Gold Coast. See both the benches now quite vocal.
That's another good look. They've run that back pick off the roll on a few occasions too. They got that little lob to a wide open cutter. On this occasion it was Sindamo who's added a few points to the tally in the last couple of minutes and stretches it to a 4-point lead, an opportunity to make it 5, which would be the biggest lead of the game for the Rollers. And there we have it. So it's important for the Mountaineers. How can they answer the question put there by the Rollers? Need to get their necks back in front here, the Mountaineers.
Close. It's very close.
Steps are a nice move. Needed to finish that one. Did all the hard work. Couldn't get it. Sindamo again on the buzzer. Gets it to go. It's a great finish in the lane, under pressure from Sindamo. 7-point lead for the Rollers, so they've been able to erase the 6-point deficit from half-time. 13-point swing in their favour, so that's a fantastic quarter for the Rollers. And they do say third quarter premiership quarter, or obviously not playing for a premiership tonight, but there's plenty on the line with the Mountaineers looking for their first win of the season. And it's it's now, well, obviously they need to make a few adjustments because that was far from ideal in the third quarter there for coach Matt Cox.
Credit, though, to the Gold Coast, Steve. They stuck to what they needed to do. They started that quarter strong. They finished the quarter very, very strong. And they've been rewarded a 7-point margin. As I said, they went into this week, they were down 6. As I said, they'd never led except for that 1-0 early on. And they've just been able to keep bobbing and keep their head in front.
And just one whooshka in that third quarter and being able to swoop to the lead. So now it will be to see if they can hold on as they do enter into the home straight here.
Yeah, exactly. You want your nose down when they get to the wire. That's what counts. And that's what Toowoomba hasn't been able to do early on in this season. Was certainly in a position to win that game last week. They are still very much in a position to win this game, Steve, but the first couple of minutes here, I think, is crucial.
Yeah, certainly is. They only managed to add 9 points to their tally there, so that's obviously a lot less than what they were able to do in quarter 1 and 2. They'll be looking to, I guess they just got to go back to what worked, getting the ball through hands. They've had that equal spread. Might be time for someone like Elisa Salmi to step up. As you said, she has been the focal point throughout earlier of these seasons in their earlier games. So she has probably put herself in a position to get a few buckets in there too. Did all the hard work, got the open look, was just able to do the finishing work.
Yeah,
so,
and a couple of good performers there for the Gold Coast in that period. So Hallie Brooker's up now to 14 points. She leads all scorers. And also chipping in there with 10, Taylor Sindamo. So they both had really, really good third quarters. And that's a big reason why the visitors hold a 7-point lead. Hold on to your hats. There's plenty to come here. I think we're going to go right down to the wire. Let's hope that it is
against Sindamo. Off to the races. Gets the bump. Will go to the foul line. First one's good. It's been a good little contribution from Sindamo in the last 5 minutes. Probably been the difference between the two teams and the reason why they have been able to
She's been
stretch this gap.
Really good. And now it's time for someone in the blue uniform to stand up and lead their team. It's just a little bit of a stalemate for Toowoomba. Can it be? Tracy Twydale. 3 look pretty good off the hands. Raquel Spees works hard down low. Gets another opportunity, flips it up on the other side. That's a good 2-point bucket there from Raquel Spees. Stems the flow.
As Rollers pull it out. Didn't get it the look they wanted off the transition. Set it up. Kennedy.
Gets her own rebound.
Hand on the line. So defensive stop there for the Mountaineers. Looking to roll that into a couple of points.
Bolton, Hayes, back to Bolton.
See a 1-3-1 zone as Dickerson, bang, toe on the line. Cardinal sin from a shooter.
Did you ever make that mistake?
Probably made many mistakes. That one would have probably been in the pile as well. So Dickerson looking to provide that spark on the defensive end. Back.
Come on the defense! Let's do it to them!
5-point lead for the Gold Coast. Foot on the line. Another cardinal sin.
Ladies and gentlemen, support your team! Here we are, the lights back in for Hayes.
Taylor Bell out.
I like that
Checks back in.
substitution as well, seeing her back in the game. She's that bigger body, nice touch around the rim as well, and we've seen her, as she scored a number of points there, and even as you see there, just providing that little bit of passive screening, if I'll call it, for the guards.
Got a couple to go early in the game. Bolton hasn't been able to have that success. Little eager. They're the Rollers. 5-point game. As the crowd really tries to get in behind a bit of enthusiasm for the home team. Dickerson, the spark plug ignites.
Drops it too. Maybe it'll be Desmond and Dickerson who said that one that stands up to lead the team, and that was good. Got that. She had her play. Knew she had a player just behind on that hip and was able to ride all the way to the bucket. But the Gold Coast come back with a pretty quick response. Taylor Mallat running the lanes, gets rewarded. Lisa Salmi, she pulls up
for a quick jumper down the base. Looks like a third personal there for Vallet. Umpire Gursky there talks to the score bench. Oh, she's looking for that play, that little roll off the back again, but
Come on. Dickerson.
Dickerson again, all the way off the dribble. The Rollers from deep, this will hurt, short.
Look good too, I have to say, from our vantage point.
Straight. Again, another opportunity from deep.
Fight over, but they get that rebound. All right, 53-58, 5 points to difference here. Toowoomba trying to eat into this margin.
Travel call from Spees.
Both teams just with some crucial turnovers at key stages. And you just wonder, as the whistle blows again, not sure.
It's a last 6 minutes, crunch time to execute. Who can get through?
Well, Steve, it makes you wonder, is that 5-point lead worth bigger than a 5-point lead at the moment anyway? See a little bit of confusion reigning here as they look to the score bench just sorting some.
Game clock's back. 6:18 to go. 5 points to difference.
Just sorting some shot clock issues by the looks of things. There's that little backdoor again. She just misses that.
Dickerson. Quiet. Mallet. Dickerson. Bolton.
Whiteale Feeds into Spees as Valak. Nice little pop into open space.
But that's good. That's good offense.
It is. Good ball movement. Good.
Exactly. It went through so many sets
option.
of hands. They got the good shot. Just unfortunately, Taylor Valak couldn't make that one drop. But I think for Coach Cox, if they can get looks like that, or that's the shot they're taking at the end of their offensive set each time, you'd be pretty happy.
Spees. He's up one-on-one. Little bunny hop from Valak. Pulled up. We've got a timeout on the floor.
I think a good timeout, to be honest, for both teams, just to reassess things here. It's a little bit scrappy. 5 points is the margin. 58 plays 53. What do we have at the three-quarter time break? 54-47. So not a lot of points has been scored in the first half of this final quarter. 5 minutes to play, Steve, as he said. Fourth quarter is winning quarter. It's winning time. Which team, which player, which players are going to stand up and win the game for their team? It is very much open and available. Time is now.
Placement, yeah, it certainly is. And we've seen Dickerson's been extra aggressive there in the early part of this fourth quarter. So maybe Cox will look to her to ignite something and throw everyone on the shoulders, get them out there, get a little bit of a run. They need, if they can close this deficit back, grab the lead, get this big crowd that we see out here involved, and hopefully be able to roll with that momentum to the back end and get away with their first win for the season to open the account.
Yeah, the game is there for either team. The opportunity is there to grasp it. We're going to find out who will grab it. We're here with thanks to Stone Streets. They are our live stream sponsor of this one as the Gold Coast bring us back into the action here. There's that little back door. Just probably forcing the issue a little bit more now as lovely ball handling up the court.
Dickerson open three. It's good.
That one's big.
She must have had a feet grow during the week, I think. So another toe on the line there. Maybe half a size in those new green sneakers that we're seeing.
And now forcing the steal. Lisa Salmi, but just need to settle it down a bit, as you said, in these opportunities. Well, let's watch the Gold Coast. Going to look to run this same play they've had a lot of success with again here. The screen it comes, rolls, bucket.
Easy bucket there. O'Reilly slicing and dicing away in.
I think that's probably an example where Toowoomba, they've probably read that backdoor play and that cut a lot better, and probably were looking for the cutter, and probably the most important person in a pick and roll is the person with the ball. And Gold Coast, nice little feed again there. Really nice little feed. And just like that, 4 points. Bang, bang, 62-55.
3 minutes 56 on the clock. Still a lot of basketball to be played out here. And that's a nice roll. He's good cover defense in hell. Did it illegally though, so that will give Spees the opportunity to shoot two. We have substitutions from both teams. So Damo comes out. This is a little bit of a breather. I would think this will be fairly short-lived. A bit of tall timber coming in for the Mountaineers. Maybe that's going to a lead into how they're going to look to play this last 3 minutes 47 with the trio of Spees, Valak, Dirksen.
Yeah, they're going big. Spees misses two, but good.
Sneaks in.
Desmond Dixon with a feet set. Find her.
Bolton off the back of the rim. Spees. Bolton gets that one to go.
Gotta love the aggression there.
There they
Did
go.
not
You can see her
hesitate.
now. Trying to add that pressure up the court. Bit of ball pressure from Dickerson. Moving the feet.
And it forces us. Great
turnover.
defense there from Toowoomba.
Dickerson, she has speeds running the lane. Can't find her. Keeps possession for the Mountaineers though.
This big Toowoomba crowd and love a bucket here from Toowoomba, just edge them that little bit closer.
Bolton get an on ball here from Dirksen. Forces happy to pull up. Oh. Dirksen fumbles around, regathers, puts it in. Closes the deficit to 3. Timeout.
All to plan.
Timeout Rollers, exactly. It's not pretty, but they don't draw pictures on score sheets.
What it is, it's a 2-pointer, and what they do put on the score sheet is that bucket brings Toowoomba to within 3. We've got 3 minutes to play. Hold on to your hats. We're in for a pretty exciting finish this one. We're getting down to the whips cracking section of the race. 2 minutes 56 to play. Gold Coast calling a timeout, Steve, so Toowoomba. Not exactly, as you said, like not drawing pictures out there, but they're effectively biting into this lead. It's now down to 1 bucket.
Yeah, definitely 3-point game. I think they might have showed their hand in how they're going to really try and play out this last 3 minutes. They've got the size advantage inside, and they've thrown in the tall timber that they've got Dirksen, Valak, Spees. It's a pretty formidable combination inside, and they'll be looking to, one, get those girls to operate, but also Bolton's showed her hand that she's happy to, she's not going to die wondering as well. So having those 3 in there to hopefully be able to clean up the glass if there is a miss, get an easy putback point.
I'll be interested to see if Gold Coast switch up defensively here as well and go back to that full court pressure, because whilst they do have the taller timber out there, it's obviously less in the ball handling department.
Here they are, Mountaineers showing a bit of a trap here as well. The 1-2-1-1. It's good execution from the Rollers though to split the gaps.
Now they get into their offense and see what they deliver out of a timeout here. As you said, they've been really good at their set plays, and there's that low post play, or the screener flashing.
Shot clock winding down. They're going to have to get one up. Turnover.
Well done to Toowoomba. Probably a missed opportunity there for the Gold Coast. Is that little pet play where they've run a little back door. They just recognise it.
Clean it up. Dickerson. Stop. Props. Misses. Got a bit going on here. Sirens, speakers, crowd. It's electric atmosphere.
Let's see if this Mountaineers team can. For those that are again, you can see John Gilton there almost hiding behind the Mountaineers banner. He's ready to pump up the crowd. Don't you worry about that.
Valak, good steal inside.
It's surely a foul. But as you said, to be fair, they have let them play. There's been quite a lot of those both sides that they have been happy to let the players play.
And I think they are on both ends. There looks to be a bit of contact that we might have seen that being called early on as Dickerson spills the lollies. Ooh. On the arm there from Spees. That was going to be a tough shot to try and make. She found herself underneath the backboard there too. So maybe a little bailout from Spees. And the active rotations we've seen all night from Cox continue as Salmi Twidale check back into the game.
Is this the 5 to finish the game out for Toowoomba?
Oh, look, it's still a lot of game to be played.
Here's the full court pressure. As the Gold Coast looking to turn
Great defensive set
to offense.
Cox calling for more pressure. It's an offensive foul.
Yeah.
Through the elbow round.
Offensive foul there, so good defense. Getting yourself in good position there was Tracy Twydale.
They have to now. There's a minute to play. They can't afford to let Gold Coast add any extra points. Cox wants to talk it over. And it really comes down to execution now. There's no room for error for the Mountaineers. Down 5. They need to score. They need to get stops both end of the court.
So that score is 64-59. So just for those, our score sheet, they're just on your screen. So just add 2 to both sides, so margin, but it is 64.
It's good math from you. Really good math.
Yeah, as long as you can use 2 hands, you can usually work it out comfortably. So 64-59, Steve, but as you said, look, this is a really, really crucial timeout. So I'm sure Coach Matt Cox here, they want to get an easy play. They want to come out of this and get an easy bucket and put the pressure back on the other end now.
Well, this possession that they have, it really has to be a score to narrow it down to a one-possession game, and then it takes the pressure off. If they don't get a bucket here, they're looking to maybe play the foul game, get in there, send Gold Coast to the line. Hopefully they miss a few free throws, but the minute to go really won't want to be relying on that. So if they can get a good bucket here, whether it's a 2 or 3, there's no need to be able to fire up a quick 3 or anything at this point. They've got the opportunity. If they can get a score, they're going to get another possession within the game as well. So it's then trust your defense, back your defense, give yourselves an opportunity to do it. So 5 points, the difference.
With possession. So Toowoomba with ball in hand, looking to eat into that 5-point margin.
Looks like they will
advance. No,
advance. I see that they opt. We saw last week they didn't take the advance option. I think it come back to bite them with the backcourt turnover. So Cox is obviously.
So we won't do that again.
From that, no. We'll take the free 25 yards. Thanks. No. Bit of clean up around the table.
We may have, I'm not sure what's happening actually. The subs are a player. Georgia Bolton operating one-on-one at the moment. Not a lot of movement offensively here from Toowoomba. Swing across Desmond Dickinson.
Shot clock winding down. It's going to go off.
That's probably, unfortunately, Steve, the worst possible outcome that could have occurred for Toowoomba out of a timeout to not get a shot up.
Exactly. Lose all that time off the clock. Now the Rollers looking to push, and that could just about be the sealer. Transition bucket that we've seen. Rollers have been very good in that facet of the game tonight, in transition, pushing it up, getting the easy bucket. And that one is probably just about enough to claim victory.
To see this young Gold Coast team head up to Toowoomba and head back down the M1 with a victory. And I think a lot of credit has to go to them. So they were basically blown off the court in the first, 5, 6, 7 minutes of this game. Was it 14-1 or something to that extent? They didn't look like scoring a bucket. They just didn't look like they were in the game, to be honest. But they made some adjustments. They really got into their offense. They got flowing. It led off with everything there. Then defensively, we saw them, of course, apply a bit of pressure to Toowoomba. And as you said so many times in this game, it's a game of runs. But they've made the crucial runs at the crucial times. And this margin, as I mentioned earlier, is 5 points worth, a bit more than 5 points in terms of that margin, and it's proven to be Well, Toowoomba get as close as 3 was as close as they've come at any stage here since they relinquished that lead halfway through the third quarter.
Yeah, so that was very out of the back of that last time. Had a very disappointing possession.
Let's see what they can come up with this time, because the clock's not their friend, the scoreboard's not their friend. Even if they're going to play the foul game, it's going to take a few seconds off the clock there, because again they've got a couple of fouls yet to chew through.
They're going to have to look for a quick shot, Salmi.
Probably not a bad option. Now let's see defensively, can they turn the screws?
In the back court,
they have.
Do. Spees, Dickerson, no good. Ball spills out to the Rollers. Foul from Twydale, so that will put them into the bonus after this. 5 points, timeout, Rollers.
A little bit unlucky there, Des, with Dickerson. That sort of hit every part of the rim before bobbling out. But, they would like that one back again and again. Unfortunately, we said in these situations, if you're going to win these games, you've probably got to make those buckets. At the end of the day, it's another miss. It's a 5-point margin. There's 24 seconds on the clock. And the Gold Coast, with all of the ascendancy, they'll take this time out. I'm sure they'll work through what they need to execute, because they know what's coming.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think Toowoomba, for them, they're going to have to be up in the lanes, look to get a steal off the inbound. If they don't get a steal, it'll have to be a quick foul. I'll have to put the Gold Coast to the line, make them make the easy shot, or the cheap shots, or the free shots that they will get, and hopefully that they can miss there, but they're going to have to do. So ideally they'll come out, grab a steal, get a quick bucket on the board. From there, they're still going to have to be pressure up there. So they'll be looking for this defensive intensity. Dickerson, Bolton, all up in the lanes. Everybody's got their part to play.
And unfortunately, pressure can do different things, but so far the Gold Coast have been very good from the free throw line, actually. So that's something where they need to, good to see on camera there, grabbing another onion ring.
Little onion ring, bit of sweet and sour sauce, mate.
Well looked after here. Here we go. So we'll see, can they force the turnover?
Well done. Rollers will look to kick this out. There's the foul.
Are you surprised they took as long to foul?
Oh, look, it was good from the Gold Coast, so they spread the floor, got it to the open player. Managed to run 5 off the clock.
Lefty for the Gold Coast is Bridget Kennedy. Steps up to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Misses the first. Makes no mistake with the second, so 1 from 2.
6-point game. Probably looking for a quick 3 here for the Mountaineers. Dickerson. Attempts that. Clock winding down. Dickerson.
Again, you'd say plenty of contact in there, but as we've said, they've to be fair, both sides of the court, they have let them play. Dickerson leaves the floor in a bit of pain.
Clutching at the shoulder. She's got a bit of strapping tape on there.
Abby Markey. It's her first seconds, should I say.
It's an 8-point lead, and that's where we will finish. There's a disappointing end for the Mountaineers. Had a really good first half, but weren't able, like so many times this season, go back-to-back and put in a full 40-minute performance, which is what they really need to be able to do to, they are competing in this league at this level, but being able to not only compete but come away with the chocolates.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a scenario, Steve. I think, tell me if I'm unfair in saying this, but same story, different day for Toowoomba at the moment. As you said, the efforts there, everything along those lines, but just the the execution when they really need it, and just you summed it up pretty well. Playing for those 4 quarters, it was a game here. I'm sure again, just like last time, they'll walk off saying we probably let one go here. We missed an opportunity here tonight. And as I said, that's exactly the same scenario as what it was a few weeks ago against the North Gold Coast side. So haven't had a lot of luck with the Coasters.
It was no. The old Southwood onwards, they've definitely got the wood over the Mountaineers. But disappointing end, and it would have been nice, and they gave themselves the opportunity to come up with a win. But as you say, an all too familiar story that we've seen, not only this year, but from previous seasons as well. So Cox will be super keen to try and get that monkey off the back in the coming weeks. But all credit to Gold Coast too. You did say they were blown off the floor in the first half of that first quarter, but they were able to regroup, regather. You could see they had their sets, and they knew that if they stuck with that, they'd be able to find some success with what they were doing, and they did that. And they really upped the ante there in the third quarter. Sandano, I think, led the way for them. They put on some transition buckets, got the lead, were able to stretch that to a point where it's just a little bit too far for the Mountaineers to reel back in.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on there, and congratulations to the Gold Coast. As I said, there was some great performances from them tonight. As you mentioned at the top of the program, they were pretty chilly coming into tour. I tell you what, I reckon the temperatures dropped to about 5. I can't feel my toes.
Whoever just opened the back door, can you just please come and slide it shut.
It's just got colder, so I don't know. If we're from here, we're saying it's cold. I don't know how the Coasters are handling it. But yeah, no, I think it was a really good polished performance from the Gold Coast. I said early on they weren't in this contest. And I said they led 1-0 early in the game, and then they did not see the lead or anywhere near the lead until the third quarter. But again, once they took the lead there in the third quarter, they were never headed.
Yeah, no, they did. And I wouldn't say Toowoomba went away from everything that was working for them. They had opportunities, they got good looks, they just weren't able to dot the T's, or dot the I's and cross the T's, whatever you do. Computers these days just take all those skills away from them.
Don't they? Yeah.
But the luxury of technology. But anyway, they just weren't able to finish the game where they put themselves once again in an opportunity to win. So, it's like a horse, mate, that takes 20 starts to break its mate, and sometimes you see when they're able to get over the line, it takes a bit to get there, but when they do, they get that winning feeling. They are able to kick on with it. So hopefully that's where we'll see the Lady Mountaineers in the coming weeks.
And I think that's as well something where they have to take that positive from. Is whilst I know it's not showing on the score board or the win column, you have to say they have a team that's good enough to be really competitive in this league.
Exactly. Well, they've faced the Seahawks last week in a top team on the table. Gold Coast, while they've had their battles this year, good young team, so be able to match it with them. It shows they can. Now they just need to take that next step and be able to get their head over the line.
All right, well, we'll see them in action again next week, actually. They play
someone.
I'm in Townsville, so Saturday, I believe, is their next game.
Townsville?
I'll be in Townsville.
Oh, you'll be in Townsville. What are you doing in Townsville?
I've got to work, mate. Got to earn some money.
So we've got the Brisbane Capitals up here next week, Friday the 25th.
Friday the 25th. So another Friday night under lights.
Brisbane Capitals, I dare say next week against the Capitals, they'll find themselves in a very similar situation. They'll have a very young team, but a very skilled team, and a team that will go out and execute. They would have been, generally the Capitals have a system where the girls playing in this sort of competition would have spent a lot of time together. They'll be looking for bigger and better things as a stepping stone and a pathway in their careers, but will be a very formidable opponent up here in the ice box, I'm going to call it. The cave. I don't care if we're the cave. We're not as warm as a cave. We're more of an ice box. The Esky.
I'm serious. I can't feel my feet. I can't feel my toes. Can't feel my toes. Anyway, we are going to take a break. This is the live stream for the Toowoomba Mountaineers. Live stream sponsor this week is Stone Streets. Stone Streets as we go that extra mile since 1993. So thanks to the team from Stone Streets for supporting us here, and they are our live stream sponsor for this game. We'll take a break. We'll be back with men's match up next.
Down here, anything's possible. A first degree, a second career, a way to advance. As the #1 uni for graduate employment in Queensland, the University of Southern Queensland has helped over 100,000 students become more from more places, on their own terms, in their own time, with 24/7 access and over 100 online degrees. Become more from more places with USQ.
Toowoomba Together wants to break the silence by empowering our sporting clubs to join together and embed social change. Do we accept abusing players or officials? Not in our club.
Do we accept verbal, physical or mental abuse towards women, men or our kids? Not in our club.
Do we accept foul language? Not in our club.
Not in our club.
Not in our club.
Just about do, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding.
That much talent run around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Down here, anything's possible. A first degree, a second career, a way to advance. As the #1 uni for graduate employment in Queensland, the University of Southern Queensland has helped over 100,000 students become more from more places, on their own terms, in their own time, with 24/7 access and over 100 online degrees. Become more from more places with USQ.
do, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding.
That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Welcome back to Clydeberg Recreation Centre. Pretty chilly Pride Berghofer Recreation Centre, I have to say. We're here with thanks to our live stream sponsor for this big game, Stone Streets. As we see the two teams being introduced to this pro Toowoomba crowd.
Manager Lisa Palethorpe. Ladies and gentlemen, be outstanding. Face the flags. Welcome to country. All the flags here, prominent in Toowoomba. Let's sing the national anthem. Will be a great game of basketball. Congratulations to Digital Mountaineers.
We're back on deck for the men's encounter. Here where we have the Mountaineers currently sitting at 0-4 from their 4 games up against the Rollers, who are a bit more successful, picking up 3 wins from their 4 starts early on this year. Should be a good matchup though. We saw Mountaineers really look to set their authority inside last week. They've got a big roster, so some big bodies. Chris Longford was exceptional last week for the Mountaineers, so I think they'll be basically looking to keep moving forward with his progression inside and go to that option.
Yeah,
I
think he's been one of the real leading lights for Toowoomba in the early stages. Probably an unheralded player. He's not a flashy player, but he's an effective player. He does all the little things right. He doesn't miss his assignment. And look, he's just Mr. Fix-It, I think, in many regards for Toowoomba. Does the clean-up work and had a big night when we last saw it, or a big afternoon when we last saw the two teams in action. Last time we saw the Mountaineers play up against the North Gold Coast team, Steve, and they came into that one on the back of a double header, the second leg of a double header, can I say, and we saw some real positive signs from Toowoomba. They looked good when they moved the ball, they looked good in transition, and again, up against quality opposition. They were more than competitive, but they didn't get the points on that occasion. Can they get the points tonight?
Yes, mate, and similar to what we've seen with the women, it is a matter of them being able to put together a game for the 4 quarters. They've had lapses. They're able to compete when they're at their best. They know they can to level it with probably any team in this competition, but being able to do that consistently for the full 40 minutes is what has proved the challenge for the Mountaineers men. So I think, they'll be looking to Josh Allen, who's been probably their main scorer throughout the year. We did see, I think their game plan changed a little bit last week, where we had Dave Worth shouldering more of the responsibility of the ball handling, getting a few more of the players involved in their offensive sets. And that worked well for them for the first half.
Yeah.
They were the Seahawks. They really gave them a run for their money then that first half. But as we said, making that go for the full 40 minutes. So be interesting to see the adjustments they've made on the training track. A week off last week, so they're nice and fresh into their assignment tonight. One guy I do think they'll be looking for a bit more of a contribution for is the big number 13, Seth Ham. So probably fades in and out of a game a little bit too much, so they'll be looking to him to get inside, bump that big body of his, and be able to contribute a bit more on the score sheet and give a bit of assistance in there too, Chris Longford.
Because, as you've said a number of times, when they do bang the ball inside to him, he's got really nice soft touch for a big man. He's shown he's got that outside stroke as well, so he does have that ability to drag his man out also. So if he can, and they've got a number of good outside shooters as well, so if he can establish his game in the low block and inside, they've got a real opportunity to create a lot of opportunities.
Mountaineers get first use through Seth Ham.
There he is, looking to be aggressive at the top there.
Comes up with an apple.
Gold Coast will they be the first to get on the board. We've got some big athletic bodies as well out there.
Leany draws the foul on Allen, picks up his first for the game. The matchup. Leany off the back. Good strong board there from Longford.
And again we see, similar to last time, David Worth with the ball in hand.
Man. Tough pass at the ankles of Worth there. James Woll for the Rollers. Overcooks it.
And we'll see the Gold Coast applying that full court pressure.
Full court man-to-man. They may look to double team here, but Allen is happy as Seth Ham gets a nice little dish. Finishes softly off the perspex.
Great pass there from Allen. He rewards his big man for making his way down the court. Getting an easy bucket underneath. Gold Coast slicing through. And their first two.
Word. Cops him high, they might send that up to have a look. He's probably lucky this is the QSL, not the NRL. He might be looking at a little sit down across the chops. Risky pass, picked off by the Rollers.
That one rolls off the rim.
Oh, inside there. Salia, the smallest man on the court, comes up with the board. Good tough take by Leany. Pops on the body from Ham, and he'll get the opportunity to shoot two. So Josh Leany for the Rollers. First one is good. Couples that up with the second. The Rollers early on. So Mountaineers guards aren't liking this full court pressure from the Rollers. A bit unsettled in the back court. Nice lead pass and a good finish. Daryl Allen, I think he sees what we see over here. Bit of frustration early on for the Mountaineers, and they just are a bit unsettled with that full court pressure. They're unable to just waltz up the court, get into a set and get what they want. So a bit good disruption from the Rollers on the defensive end.
So we'll see what adjustments they make out of this timeout. 6 plays 2 in the early going, so 6 straight points reeled off here by the visitors. And we'll see what adjustments Toowoomba makes out of this. So we're here with thanks to our live stream sponsor for this one. The live stream sponsor for this one is Stone Street. 7:48, 8:04 to say on the clock here.
You see a fairly vocal huddle there from Coach Daryl Allen, and really what they need to do. Like, you got to give it to your guard, clear out, let him bring the ball up. That's what they're there to do. If you can't bring it up on one-on-one pressure, that's what your point guard has to grab that responsibility and get it up. You just can't be passing it back and forward, mucking around with it, taking close to your 8 seconds in the backcourt to get it over and into your set. So they just need to get out of the guard's way and get him to bring the ball up.
Much more effective there at breaking that pressure. The issue now for Toowoomba is just the time that it's taken to get into that position. And there's Seth Ham with a nice soft touch, as we talked about inside. He's got 4, all of the points so far for Toowoomba. 6 plays 4. Gold Coast moving the ball around.
He likes the matchup. Step back 3. That's a tough shot. Good to go. And a salute from Leahy. Sergeant Leahy salutes the bench. There's someone's shooting arrows down there too, so a bit of early celebrations from the Rollers.
Bit of Carmelo Anthony
Bit
now.
of
Seth
TV. Oh,
Ham.
here we
Will
go.
he do the same?
Oh,
That one rims out. Yeah, that was a tough shot.
he might be. I'll tell you what. I'll go in. I want to see the celebration. What's he got? Oh, a bit more subdued that time, and only the 2-pointer. Might save it for a special occasion for a long bomb.
But 5 quick points there for the big man. 42 for the Gold Coast.
Worth comes in. Ham tries it again from the top of the key. Rattles around, no good. So 2 long bombs from Ham early on, no good. Leahy on the other hand gets his man in the air. Thought he was going upstairs there for a while. That's a great, tough finish on the body. Seth Ham.
And what's probably good there as well is if he's had good success with the jump shot, the step back 3, the open 2 from long. Didn't settle for that though, so obviously he was happy to put the ball on the floor, get to the bucket, gets rewarded. So it's been a great passage of play here for the Rollers. As Bailey Nwanavu splits the D, that man Chris Longford can't make that one. They get the board back there. Josh Allen, he's happy to fire that one up.
Good tip on the board.
They're in complete control at the moment, the Rollers. They are cruising along here.
Yerky. Lee. Oh, this might. Wow, 3 ball from Long. He's probably got every right to celebrate at the moment. He's chewing apart Seth Ham. He's going to have to make some alterations on how he's looking to defend.
And that's what is going to make it hard here for the coaching crew. You can see the brains trust over there, Harry Spencer and Darryl Allen talking it over. And that's probably, Steve, one of the key things they're talking about. The hard thing here for Seth Ham is that we've seen that matchup. And here he is again. He's found
It's
himself
wide open.
Someone's missed
That's
that.
good. This is a absolute clinic at the moment from Josh Leaney. He would have to have 18, would he? Would he not?
Well, he'd have
Longford.
He's hit 3 threes and an and 1. He's got at least, and that 2 for which he's got at least 14, I'd suggest to you.
He could have a 100-point game the way we could have a Wilt Chamberlain in the house.
Here he
Way
is
things
again.
go. I dare say he fancies his.
He likes the matchup.
Yeah.
Seth Ham, though, does a good job there.
Force the issue on that occasion, but
Heat check.
most likely
Probably entitled to.
Entitled, exactly. Zallen gets the basket.
I tell you what, what's his name? Your bloke here, 42. He's a big unit.
Josh Leaney.
Look at the legs on him.
Yeah, solid. Obviously pumps out in the squat rack.
Now he. What's your saying? If you keep dipping your bucket in the well and you keep coming up with water,
You just keep dipping that bucket.
and the bucket's plentiful at the moment. And now this will be interesting. We see Seth Ham check out. We'll see who gets the assignment now.
Longford's got the switch up. Good defence. Cops him on the body though.
Yeah, Josh Leaney, he's having a night out. So you got to go with a hot hand like this, Steve, with, as I said, whether it's putting the ball on the floor, getting to the cup, if he's pulling up from 3, if he's shooting the long 2. What's Toowoomba do to... The obvious thing is they need to slow him down. What do they do?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a tough matchup because he's shown that he can shoot the long ball, he can get to the bucket, so he's probably got the footwork to combat most of the bigs that they're going to throw at him. So, and on the flip side too, he's also got some good moves inside, able to get a strong seal, so they can't run for a more athletic, undersized guy, or he'll just go with the old mouse in the house.
But yeah, hot start from him, and that gives his team a 12-point lead. And then, Josh Allen sneaks by. Leany is all on the defensive end, was looking to add a block to that. Here he is dead now. He's, again, just too big inside, gets that seal.
Yeah.
And he gives the more celebrations that you're talking about. I think he's signalling something about too small.
Yes, something along those lines.
It's hard to argue with him.
Try and tune in with the sign language. He's having a field day at the moment. It's Bailey Noavu.
He's having an absolute field day. And you can see again, obviously, he's the leader of this team too. You can see in this huddle there just talking up what they need to do. So it's pretty clear.
Pretty sure it was something like just keep passing me the ball at the moment.
It's not a bad idea.
Nwanavu. Short on the iron on the first. Makes the adjustment for the second.
Substitution coming in here.
Pot Malauk.
His first minutes. Like they're doubling. You can see now they're getting the double here. Leany.
Drop
now
back into a 2-3 zone for the Mountaineers. Nwanavu.
That's been a good adjustment from Toowoomba thus far.
Yeah, looking to compress that keyway. That's short. Might have been a piece.
He has been the nice attack to the bucket there from Worth too. Yeah, very good straight to the bucket. Aggressive. Drops the 2. But I think it's a case at the moment, Steve, isn't it, for Toowoomba, if you coach Darryl Allen and Harry Spencer, it's okay. Let's not let Josh Leany beat us, make him pass the ball, make someone else make a bucket. Doesn't mean to say that the others aren't capable, but at the moment it's just all about Josh Leany, and he's dominating.
Yeah, certainly has. Yeah, get it out of his hands like they have done. Clog it up inside, and not to say you're not going to be able to pop out and shoot the 3. He showed he's able to. He's got that string to his bow. So
just single coverage is not there. You can see them there, and this is forcing the.
It's a nice take from
beautiful
Frittag.
Gets inside Jasper.
Mountaineers. I'm going to break this. What looks to be a 1-2-2 trap. Nice look from Nuavu. Good head fake from Longford. Puts it in with the left hand.
Nice pass. Nice recognition there to find Longford inside.
As we saw from last week too, he gets himself in a really good position to get the catch. So once he does get the ball, there's not a great amount of work that needs to be done. It's just up and finish.
Yes, he most certainly does that. Leany's going to have a seat. He doesn't seem real happy about it either. I probably wouldn't be either, to be honest. But I don't think he'll spend too long on the bench, to be honest. But here's an opportunity for Toowoomba. It is that sort of game at the moment. It's a 24-16. As we said, Leany would have
18 or 20
16,
as Longford again for the
Longford
Mountaineers.
again.
But the Mountaineers have done well, so they've weathered the early
Outstanding.
storm, got it back, settled in, and getting some good offensive looks down this end of the court and closed that gap down to 6. Wanavu draws the offensive foul. Little push off with the forearm.
Great play from Toowoomba. They've been rewarded for that effort.
Call there by the evergreen local referee, Anthony Redmond. Silcock Smith looking to see something happening. He gets his skipper Worth slicing through the key. He tag. Puts it on tumble dry, rolls his way down to the hoop.
They don't want us post-try / bucket celebration to rollers. You can be able to double flex there too.
Oh, was
Who's
it?
the strongest? Did you miss that?
No, I did miss it. Yes.
Keep an eye next time.
will.
Yeah, they come down the court and showed us the cannons.
Smith gives him something, gives a little something himself. We might be off for a game of charades here later on with some of the
first word
celebrations we're seeing.
Yeah, no, seriously, we've seen plenty of theatre. First 26-21, really entertaining.
Bit of
high octane offensive start.
NBA playoffs on. No doubt there'd be some games and showmanship that we're seeing on the screen over there, and these guys are happy to be forthcoming with a bit of a contribution of their own.
Absolutely.
Whoa. Got his 50% from his visit to the stripe. Oh, it's athletic. He's an very, very athletic Bailey, but that one's just caught behind the board, or we might have seen the celebrations of all celebrations had that one have been a spectacular finish.
No celebration there. Just
disappointing from free tag.
Just happy to notch up the 2 and get back on defence on this occasion. Getting caught inside there.
Shots to come.
3 seconds to go.
So it's had a high scoring first quarter. Gold Coast potentially going to click over the 30 points for a quarter. It's good going. 30 plays 21. Makes them both.
Oh no, this could hurt. Oh. The inbound pass, Callum Marks picks the gap, grabs it, and then buries the 3, which that hurts at the end of a quarter. Mountaineers did so well to drag themselves back into the game. Let it slip at the end there. 13-point deficit, 34 points. High-scoring affair, especially from the Rollers. And they've been able to, I don't think they could have probably done anything better on the offensive end, and they'd be really happy with that.
Toowoomba, as you said, did all the hard work to get back into this contest. They narrowed that margin. But then a very quick little 5 or 7-0 run to finish that quarter, and all of a sudden they walk off. They would have been happier. It was around 28-21 there with a few minutes, 3 minutes or so I think to go. And now they walk off and they stare down the barrel of a 13-point deficit. And that man Josh Leaney has been on the bench for the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, certainly has. That was probably no worse way to end the quarter there for the Mountaineers. But we did see it early on in the first quarter. Gold Coast got out to probably about the similar sort of buffer, and the Mountaineers were able to reel it back into something a bit more manageable. So now they've shown they can do it before. They'll have to do it because they really don't want to get this anymore. So they've got to keep this as a max. They'll want to win this quarter and go into the break, the halftime break or the long break, with something a bit more manageable. So
Josh Leaney has 18 on 6 of 8 shooting, 3 of 3 from deep, 3 of 5 2, and they, as a team, the Gold Coast shot 9 of 15 for the no, it's Toowoomba, sorry, 9-15, 12-21 for the Gold Coast.
So both teams, and it reflects on the scoreboard, shooting at a good clip and being fairly efficient on the offensive end.
Yeah, where we look at for Toowoomba, it's in balanced scoring, but Chris Longford, Mr. Efficient, has 6 points on the board for the home team. Seth Ham has 4. Josh Allen also has 4 points. And we see David Worth and Noah Silcox-Smith both adding 3 points as well.
Allen looks to penetrate the key. Ash Palethorpe getting his first minutes of the game. Ball in hand. Nice look, finds a wide open Bailey Wanabu. Missed the assignment there on the bit of a mix-up for the Rollers on the defensive end. Yeah, and the C's part. Leany, clean up. There he goes, continues that efficiency. That takes him to 20 points. That's outstanding in 11 minutes of basketball.
7-9 shooting as well.
Silcox-Smith's got Palethorpe up high. Pulls up for the little Jimmy. Oh, good. Transition bucket for the Rollers. Attacks. Awkward landing there too. Seems to be up on the back. Pleading his case for a whistle.
Not forthcoming.
Silcox-Smith penetrating Palethorpe from the baseline. But net nails the 3.
Drops the 3 ball there. So Toowoomba brings that margin back to 12. Not the man to leave open. They get away with one there, but the long rebound. So they'll get a second look at it. Swing the ball around.
Oh. Forgot the dribbling requirement there. Breaky.
So now they...
Smith to Allen.
Silcox-Smith brings the ball down for Toowoomba.
Allen, not much happening off the ball. A lot of dribble penetration. Hands in the back long for a good, strong finish again. Catches it right inside that charge circle, leaves as little to do as possible, and finishes very efficiently once again.
Yeah, Mr. Efficient, Chris Longford drops another 2. And yeah, and I think you're right. You were mentioning before, I mean, it worked out well in the end, the patience to find that sort of thing. But Ross was there. The ball was moving, not a lot of movement off the ball, as you said. But then once Longford, he said, he always finds his way into the key. And he drops the big 2.
Strong on the boards too. Step through. Looky. Here's that hooky, and he gets it to go. Gee, he's unstoppable at the moment, Leahy. Inside, outside, he's doing it all.
Defensively as well, as you said, like his clean-up work on the boards also. But once he gets the ball down low, it doesn't actually matter how many people are defending him, to be honest. He's just got too good a touch that close to home, and yeah, he's already at 20-plus points.
Drops it on the body. Good tough.
Good stuff from the Mountaineers here, though. They are hanging tough. You've just got to hope that this machine that is Leany can be cools down or stops or something. Chris Longford gets rewarded there. Played great defence there, did Chris Longford. But unfortunately, just that rebound falls the way of the Gold Coast. 41-30, 6 minutes 30 to play.
Seth Ham back in for Longford.
Ham in for Longford.
And he's got a big job to do here, Seth Ham, so he's probably going to have the principal job of knowing where Josh Leaney is. At the moment he's open. The ball doesn't head his way.
Ham cleans up the defensive glass. Allen looking to push. Yeah, good hands in there from Wall.
Good finish too.
Good transition all around. Ham for the long two. Tickles the twine.
And probably when Seth Ham is in the game, whilst he talked about his size offensively, but probably again just how dominant this Josh Leaney is. Probably if he can hit that outside jump shot, means that Leaney at least is going to be out of the equation from a rebounding perspective, or from a close rebound.
Ailford picked off. And here he is, again open.
Yeah, might have cooled down a little bit, Leaney.
They clean up the rollers, yeah. The icing conditions here.
But that's the problem, those second chance opportunities that they're getting.
Silcox Smith, dribbling, dishing, Novanovu, Silcox Smith, and Lee spits that out.
He's in the old stare down.
He does.
He's looking for him. Happy to have a few words to him.
Bit of chest bumping here. Sailor and Silcox Smith. Leaney puts him in his place. Bit of emotion coming out here. It's Ham. Gives him the old shimmy.
Dream shake. Great stuff this for the Mountaineers, hanging tough.
Salia unsuccessful. His hand.
It'd be interesting to see if Toowoomba can just keep chipping away here, and things, which hasn't been the case all game, just not quite falling the way for the Gold Coast at the moment. You can sense just a little bit of frustration creeping into the camp of the visitors. So if they can just apply that pressure, easier said than done, of course.
By Ricky. Whoa.
Again, second chance. Opportunities. It's probably a stat I'm looking, sorry, I should say, from a Toowoomba point of view, you won't be looking forward to seeing is that offensive rebound counts for the visitors. The amount of second chance shots they've been able to get.
A few mass changes here for the Mountaineers.
Patrick Roach. It's his first minutes.
Diffuses the alley-oop.
Tell you what, with some of the celebrations we've seen, I think we'd get something pretty spectacular if they pulled off a Lob City.
McEwen. Gets both to go. So we've got a risky pass up the court, pressure from the Rollers again. Haven't had an easy night of it in the backcourt, Worth and Allen.
No, they've had to work, and we've seen a lot as well of the Gold Coast players. It's a lot of very long players as well, long and athletic, which are making it difficult.
Roach. Step back.
Good shot. Unfortunately, though, just can't find the bottom of the net, that one. 2 minutes 53 here, 13 points the margin, same as what it was at the end of the first. So for the Toowoomba team here, they'd love to just chip away. Well, for one, they don't want it to be any more than 13 when they go to the sheds.
Oh, they've got Lee under the bucket.
Second chance opportunity comes their way.
Foul on the floor. Backhand flick from Leany. Salia.
Almost another offensive rebound.
Allen. Draws the foul.
So 2 minutes to play, 35-48 before we get to the halftime interval.
Good.
I like what we've seen so far tonight as well from Josh Allen. He's, I think, been very patient. He's attacked the seams when he's had the chance.
Kewen stops, pops off the back, transition opportunity for the Mountaineers. Probably not the man they want with the ball in hand with Roach. Just looking to get rid of it, and Worth. Tip from Longford. Good work there on the offensive end too. He was able to get himself in between his man and Worth, where he's going to the basket to open up that laneway. And cleans up with the tip. Step back, McEwen. Touch, Wall. Roach from behind.
Yeah, we see it. You think Coach Darryl Allen is keen, obviously, to use some size in this match, and we will see Longford working away inside. Yeah, it's a Gladner up over the rim in the second quarter. It wasn't the case in the first, but steal there, one-on-one steal. Gold Coast.
Allen puts his body on the line from a rampaging James Wall, who steamrolls through. And
great play from Josh Allen there as well. He was stripped one-on-one with the ball bringing up the court. He didn't give up on the play. He went back down, played some pretty tough defense. He had to work pretty hard there, put his body on the line, draws the charge in what could be a pretty crucial period of play for his team. We talked about it before, eating into that 13-point margin. It's now 9. So 48 plays 39. We have a minute to play. Mountaineers with the ball. Toowoomba looking to chew into this margin just a little bit more as well.
yeah, they've been good. They've just been able to hang around. They'd love to close this deficit. It sort of gets to 13, back to 9, back to 13. So if they could finish this half with a bit of a run, close that down to a little bit less points, and really attack the line, try and get over the line. A couple of stops here would be great for Darryl Allen, where he'll look to 4 points.
All right, let's see what Toowoomba can do from here. Worth bring the ball up the court here. Bailey Monadu out on the back to Worth at the top of the key.
Allen looking to operate. Find himself out of room. Packed.
High looper.
Kewen go for the 2-for-1, the Rollers. Board Longford.
Chris Longford.
Looking for someone else. Oh, he's flirting with danger, Longford. And Worth draws the foul. Draws the foul, go to shoot to Worth. So we need a bit of a shuffle along here. Gets it, reduces it down to 8. This looks like we're getting a very special guest. Two for Worth, so 7-point deficit. Gold Coast, last play of the quarter if they so desire.
Who do you reckon will shoot it?
I reckon it might be pick and pop. Oh no, McEwen likes it. Short off the iron, 3.3 to play.
41-48, so Toowoomba's done a terrific job here in this second quarter.
An opportunity for a Hail Mary.
More than a Hail Mary, if they can.
Hail Mary. No, Hail Mary did not come at the Hail, but it's been a good competitive half. Gold Coast have had the edge, been able to hold on to a 7-point ascendancy as we hit the main break. We're joined.
Yep.
The coach, the man of the hour. Mate, another week. Probably another familiar story for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've been pretty good in first halves throughout this season so far. And we came out with the right intent today and did everything that we could to potentially win in the first half. But coming out in the third quarter like that, just never get it done.
What did you say to your players after the game?
I said I don't really care about the statistics at the moment. It was our effort, intent, and will to win. That was a game that we could have won by 20 just looking at it, and we let it slip.
And where to from here? Like we've saying over here, it is seem week in, week out. It's that hurdle that you need to be able to get over, get that monkey off the back, and that will probably provide a whole new mindset around the team from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with the week off and then preparing for this home game, following what was a decent weekend, I felt for us against the Seahawks, where we turned a corner, we got in the grind and competed down there Saturday night, and another game we probably let slip here on the Sunday, but we were content to live with that loss and onwards and upwards. And yeah, I think we came out with the right intent in the first half, but it's the discipline to stay in control of games, and that's something that we have to learn. Simulate in practice, get more scrimmage time in. Like we've been playing the QSL 2-man in the previous couple of weeks at practice, and that's really helped with our pace and intensity, but it's not lasting for 40 minutes at the moment.
As Steve and I have commented a number of times, there's some frustrating part for you at the moment, but the positive side is that you must know what you see out on the court is good enough to compete with any team in this league.
Oh, absolutely. I think the roster that we have is really talented and is good enough to win night in, night out at this level. We just have to, get the monkey off our back, get one, and hopefully that, the ball starts to roll from there. But Incredibly talented players. Like, we've got a strong group of guards now between Despina, Georgia, Tracy, who are really solid for us. I think our bigs at this level are incredible. Raquel, Lisa Salmi's effort. Em has come on and done a job. If we can get Chelsea coming along, then that's another weapon for us. And strong wings when Taylor Balach and Britt Hayes run out wide. So we've got a very solid, versatile roster, but we just have to piece it together.
And, mate, you mentioned a lot of names there, and that's what we saw over the course of the game too. A contribution from everyone across the board. There wasn't any one you were relying on, but a good, solid contribution from basically anybody who got on the court, had a job and performed a job whilst they were there.
Absolutely, and that's something that we've worked on from day one, is that we're not going to have a player in this team that scores 20 night in, night out. We're going to have to all chip in 10, and if someone does get 20, then it will be someone else's job to go and get 20 a different week. We don't have that type of player. I think that that's hurting us a little bit at the moment. When the game gets tough, we haven't emphasised and picked someone that we're giving the ball to and turning to, and that's something that I have to reassess myself. But very promising that we have weapons all over the court, and they know their roles and, for the most part, execute them.
It's not too late, but you do need to start reeling off some wins if you want to play a part in the business end of this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we still have 2 games against Brisbane, 2 games against Logan, 2 games against Gladstone, and another game against Spartans, and another game against Gold Coast, who are all right there at the end of the table with us. Brisbane, Rip and Seahawks seem to have kicked away a little bit, so we're going to be fighting for that 4th spot, and we can't afford to have another disappointing night like tonight.
And for you yourself, mate, you were at the helm with the men's team last year, transitioning over to the women. How's that been?
Yeah, I mean, interesting challenge. Somewhat nerve-wracking at the start. I mean, I came off a season of coaching under 18 girls, and I think that helped really good in the junior rep system. And then they transitioned me over to the women, and I think I've been a little bit lucky in that I have a prior relationship with most people. Like, I've grown up playing basketball through this era with everyone. So the respect thing didn't take too long to get, but it also probably was a negative in the fact that it wasn't quite as high as what it could have been, and we're seeing that with a bit of lack of discipline.
Turnovers are costly at any sport, any level, but I mean, I'm sure if there's one thing you'd like to limit, it would be turnovers, or just too many costly turnovers when you get yourself in a position to release that pressure valve. It's just killing you at the moment.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we had 30 plus in our first 2 games, which is atrocious. We brought that down to, I think, 18 in each game against the Seahawks. And considering the defensive work Seahawks have done so far, we were happy to live with that. I don't know what it ended up with tonight, but it was 16 at the half, and 16 turnovers in a half of basketball is definitely not going to get it done. I mean, we competed well in the first half and had 16 turnovers, so when we weren't competing well in the second half, I can only imagine that's what got worse for us.
How's the morale of the team? Losing's hard, and particularly, like I said, I'm sure, particularly the last 2 games we've sat here, Steve and I both said the same thing. You're going to walk off the court, and you've got to walk off thinking, we should have won tonight.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I took a little bit of time to get into the locker room, and when I got in there, like, some pretty emotional faces and a bit of chat going on about how that one stings, and we really, really let that one slip, especially after that performance, like I said, against Seahawks here, where we should have won the game. We had control, 2 minutes to go. We had control 5 minutes into the game of this one, and we should have put him to the sword and been up 20.
So from a coaching point of view, that must be a positive that you walk in there and you know you've got a group of players there that does sting, and you know that they are feeling it, because, as I said, if you want to compete at this level, that's what you want to see from your players after a game. Yeah,
absolutely, and I think that's developing and growing more and more. Like, it's tough losing. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not, but I guess now we need to stop talking the talk, though. Like, we can't keep walking in after every game and feeling sorry for ourselves, especially if we're not putting 100% effort in for 40 minutes. Like, 20, 25, that's not good.
onwards and upwards next week. We're back next Friday. Tough challenge against Brisbane, but something I suppose that probably puts you in a good place to see where you actually sit with the top teams in this comp.
Yeah, absolutely. Brisbane, a very talented side. They're quite young and have a couple of veteran players with them guiding the ship there. We saw them in the pre-season here, and we fought and battled, in that game, and we've added some pieces since then. So, we need another good week on the training paddock and continue to improve. And like we said, we've shown that we can control the game in the first half, but it's the back end of quarters and that discipline that needs to come into play.
So that's the next one for the Toowoomba Mountaineers, mate. Thanks for dropping in and having a chat to us. Do really appreciate your time, and all the best next week.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, guys, and thanks for all the work you do.
So there's the Mountaineers coach of the win. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be set for all of the second half action of the men's game. We're here with our live stream sponsor, Stone Streets.
Do you have our final one?
Down here, anything's possible. A first degree, a second career, a way to advance. As the #1 uni for graduate employment in Queensland, the University of Southern Queensland has helped over 100,000 students become more from more places, on their own terms, in their own time, with 24/7 access and over 100 online degrees. Become more from more places with USQ.
Just about do, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding.
That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Half action here from the USQ Club Recreation Centre. Toowoomba Mountaineers, Gold Coast Rollers, 48 place, 41, a 7-point margin to the visitors. Having a look at the stats that count from the half. Joshua Leaney leading all scorers with 22. Not bad at the half, but the good sign for Toowoomba is he had 18 in the first quarter. So there's 4 points from Leaney in the second quarter.
That 18 probably come in the first 6 minutes too.
Easily. So Toowoomba, now their chance to chip away at this one. And here's some of those stats we were talking about before, Stephen. I was saying around the rebound. Here's an incredible stat for you. You want to talk about second chance opportunities, or one stat you want to pick out of there. 21 total rebounds for the Gold Coast. 11 of the 21 were offensive.
Yeah, that's a massive discrepancy there for the Mountaineers, and they'll just comes down to getting a body on and getting a position once a shot goes up. So that's something no doubt Darryl Ellen would have picked up on the sheet, and he will be looking.
A little bit of a worry for Toowoomba early on. We just saw David Worth go down. He's had to check out of the game, just rolling his ankle. Noah Silcock-Smith comes in. But he's gone off for some attention there, so hopefully he's okay. But it's a pretty important piece of that guard rotation. for Toowoomba. 41-48.
Floated back into a 2-3 zone for Mountaineers. So again, looking to keep that inner core congested and limit Leany's effectiveness as Byrich comes in and
go to the free throw line.
But he's going for the old banker, front on banker there from the free throw line. Looking to improve his second effort. Does so. See Jacob Pomfret getting his first minutes of the night.
Longford
come
That's
out.
his third foul, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, third foul. So just trying to protect him early on, and a bit of miscommunication between Nwanavu and Allen leads to a turnover in the backcourt. We've seen a couple of them, so the Gold Coast are keeping that pressure up, which they had a bit of success with in the first half. Leany goes back to it and he muscles his way in.
Single coverage with any player, to be honest, on the Mountaineers roster is not going to cut it with Leany, particularly when he gets the ball that low on the block. And you saw there, he just...
two dribbles.
Just the big boy move, and there's not much that can be done. Ham's going to try and
respond.
respond.
Back and spins and
spin in the lane.
Strength of Leany's able to keep him out of the key. Wow. There's that man again. Oh, stepped up Pomfret. That's a tough basket. Fading away. Pomfret, I tell you what, is another big body into the game and some fairly solid contact.
Leany doing it at both ends.
He is now, and now he's looking to do a bit of refereeing as well. So he is doing everything out on the court there tonight.
He wasn't happy with the no call down the other end.
No, which I thought was fair enough. Pomfret was there. I know he turned into him, but he's established his position. So
great touch from him, though, to make the bucket.
Oh, yeah. Phenomenal.
And then down the other end, he comes out with the block, too. So he's doing it on all ends. Overcooks that.
That's a mile off.
These are the danger zones, or the danger periods for Toowoomba. So they've just come out of the half-time interval. So they were down, what was it, 7? It was 48-41. Just a little, it's not a big one, but a little 5-0 run to kick off here for the Gold Coast. It could become 7 or 8 on the back of this possession. And the issue with it is not just that 7 or 8, it's the fact that the 7 or 8 point lead that was there at the half can quickly become 15. And we've seen how when things can settle into that rot, that
squeezes that one. Yeah. Leany, I tell you what, he's got that Midas touch tonight.
And after a extremely quiet.
Silcock Smith having some dramas in the backcourt again. Allen, Darryl. Allen of the Darryl variety, a bit frustrated over there.
He's talking to the referees about a few things there as well.
Oh, I think he's talking to his players. He calls Worth up off the seat.
It's a good sign.
Change.
Good to go.
It's a nice ball. Leany dished out. Caught the shoulder there of Jacob Pomfret.
Catch, shoots. It's now 58, plays 41. So Toowoomba yet to get on the scoreboard here in the second half.
Yeah, and the low block.
10-0 run to start this
Bumps
half.
in, good use of the body, can't finish though. It was better from Ham though, using his strength to muscle out Leaney.
And
the Rollers. 2. So Mountaineers, they do need to stop the rot. Timeout called.
12-0 run, Steve, to start the second half, and that's what we talked about. 48-41 becomes 60-41. The mountain is becoming taller and taller to climb.
Yeah, it is. As the more the lead does stretch, the further it does loosen the grasp that Mountaineers have on trying to hold on to any winning hope, basically. So it's going to take a big effort in this back half of the third quarter, 6 minutes 30 to turn it around. So they haven't got on the score card, so they're 41, 3 minutes. They haven't been able to put the ball in the hole, and that's going to have to change. It's going to have to change drastically, and it's going to have to change very fast.
Now, I'd suggest to you, right now. 19-point margin, so just like that, in the blink of an eye. And again, no surprises. The man that's led the charge, Josh Leaney. He'd have 4 or 6 of that 10.
He did. He just needed a little freshen up, had a bit of lactic acid build up in those the big thighs.
But he's potentially on the way to a very big scoring night here. He'd have 26 minimum.
Yeah, we'll find it hard to go backwards from there.
All right, let's see what Toowoomba can
coached. Coached the Rollers by the John Seghetti. So
Seghetti, I think there he is over there, John Seghetti, former roller of a different variety, the NBL roller. He was also a professional boxer, actually ring announced.
He did, Big John.
Probably his last fight, I'd suggest. Might have been Herman Eddie
go
Purcell.
Right? Throw him all right?
Yeah, he did, Big John Seghetti, but Herman Eddie Purcell managed to bowl a big right arm over the top and was able to beat Long John. So yeah, basketballer and the boxer.
Oh, continuation. It's given as Allen gets 2 as the seas parted.
They needed that one. But yeah, wasn't he? He was a very good basketballer, John Seghetti. Well, obviously playing at NBL level.
Big body, and no doubt he'd be a great mentor for a young guy like Josh Leaney, teaching him a few tricks of the trade that only those old veterans can seem to get away with.
But he's been very impressive, Steve, hasn't he, Josh Leaney? Just everything that he's done, as you said, whether it's size, whether it's touch from the outside. You've seen several times he's shown great leadership in the team in those huddles. He's been a very, very impressive. There's another offensive rebound.
Voirak
just falls straight into the lap. And that's the hard part for Toowoomba at the moment. They did all the hard work there. Josh Allen goes solo. Did all the hard work there, Toowoomba. Force a tough shot. It just grazes rim. And 2 points counts.
Another strong move. And a flex. He's back. Bit of celebration.
I was about to say that.
Wasn't his best of the night, but something for the crowd. And the crowd hasn't had much to get on board about and cheer about here in this second half. Leaney gets his 3-point play. He's managed to capitalise on a few 3-point plays tonight there as well. So
yeah, he's got 29. Leaney there. Not happy with his teammate. I think he can finish that for me. I'd say he's got his eyes on a triple-double.
Absolute fill-up for Laney. Oh, that was not flat, that free throw. Boards by Nwanabu. And Worth seems to have recovered from that syndesmosis. Looks to be a little tweak of the ankle, but seems to be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, good finish there from the big man. Yeah, nice diagnosis, Dr. Glover.
Pomfret as the Mountaineers battle to try and get themselves back in the ball game.
20 points the margin.
McEwen. Oh, I tell you, some fakes going on here, and there's some being well sold, Leany. There we go again.
Flex. Subdued this time.
It looks like he's doing it in second gear at the moment too.
No, I agree. And as we've said, he's been very, very impressive. Everything about him, defence, offence.
$31 there for Josh Leany. Takes his tally. So, I'll tell you what, with 14 minutes to play in this game, he could be on for an absolute monster. Worth, nice look. Good finish. Good little play. Good little two-man game play there from the Mountaineers.
Pomfret's given his coach some good serviceable minutes, particularly with, as we know, with on the sideline currently on the bench in foul trouble. Longford.
Yeah, he has. He stepped in and his ticket was called.
Just forcing the pass there. Pomfret gets a breather, but yeah, I think he gave his coach and his team some good value off the bench there.
So the APEC pack checks in. The long wingspan of Pack trying to make an impact.
There's Laney again on the board. See, he's crashed there. He's just literally everywhere. Offense, defense. $69-48. Visitors cruising along.
Wow. 3 points. That's really starting. Well, it's beyond starting. It's getting out of the grasp with the Mountaineers. 23 points. 3 to play in the third. They've been looking to somebody. Somebody's got to put their hand up, provide a spark. We saw the Atlanta Hawks come back from the unwinnable during the week.
26 down they were.
That's not going to get it there though.
Josh Allen forces one there.
McEwen. Twinkle toes McEwen along the baseline.
Schwartz in. Longford in.
Chris Longford back into the game. There's a man that will provide the right target at the right time for his team, but he also is in precarious situations, you know, from a fouls point of view, and particularly when you've got to go like this that's operating.
Allen gets the high pick from Longford, looks to make his way into the keyway. Silcock Smith. 6-shot clock winding down, 5 to go. He's going to have to make something happen. Halethorpe Doesn't get it off in time. It's a shot clock violation, and Big John Seghetti's pretty happy with that effort on the defensive end from the Rollers, and rightly so. It's these type of games when you do get a large margin involved, it's easy for the game to fizzle out, and Leany again.
The flex again. I'm too strong,
He'll
I think
start cramping up there soon if he keeps flexing at this rate.
He'd probably just keep with that shooting arm warm. It's more than warm at the moment, it's flaming. What would this be for 35?
Yeah. Oh, pick the pocket there. Fritag. Still up and in the face intensity on defence from Gold Coast.
Yes, if the Mountaineers thought this one might fizzle out and a little bit of open basketball for a quarter, I don't think so. He's pretty relentless. Pretty relentless, Coach Seghetti. As you said, he's really barking instructions at his players of intensity, and they've really blown this one wide open. The key stat, well, a number of key stats here, but Toowoomba's added 7 points in this quarter. Longford rips down the board. But yeah, 48-75 is what the scoreboard reads. We had 48-41 at the half-time interval. And again, this young man, Josh Leany's had a night out.
Shot clock winding down. Tough step back from Nwanavu.
And who's there on the rebound? Josh Leany. Running the floor, trailing. Looks to dish, but that one doesn't come off. One of the few things that hasn't worked for him.
Back, nice dish, Longfield.
Great pass there.
Climbs upstairs. Finishes with authority.
We'll see what the visitors draw up here. Leany from the top. A little two-man game. Drops back into the arms there.
Silcock Smith, dish out. 4 to play here, so Mountaineers will get one last opportunity for the quarter. Silcock Smith drains the 3, closes it to 24.
And that'll do it. 77-53. The score, the visitors, the Gold Coast Rollers. They are rolling right now, and that man, Josh Leany, is leading the way. And I reckon he's the type of player, he'd know how many he's got, and he'll be gunning for the 50.
Yep, every opportunity for him to get there too. So he has been he's been awesome here on a cold night. He's definitely found the heat. So 24-point lead. Where to from here for the Mountaineers?
It's a good question. I think they probably need to go back to what we saw them do in that second quarter. That's well, even the first half, to be honest. Because as you mentioned with Josh Leany, it was that stretch for 4 to 6 minutes in the first quarter where he just dominated. He just absolutely dominated. He had about 18 points in a couple of minutes. They adjusted, went back to that zone, so they made it hard for him to get his hands on the ball. Or when he got his hands on the ball, it was so that they put it in a position where they wanted him to give it up. He did such a good job, to be honest, though, when he had the ball and giving it up, but still they wanted the ball in other players' hands, and Toowoomba was able to get going. So there you go. He's got 38 points, 10 rebounds.
10 rebounds. 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 steal. So that's a fairly nice stat. And here we go. Throw for Cash at half time. Oh, wow. The Cash was pretty safe there. But Johnny Gilton trying his best. There was a bit of a roar. There hasn't been much to chitter about from the crowd. But
I'll tell you what, if I was that gentleman, I would have said, can old 42 over there from the Rollers have a shot for me?
Celebrity shot, you reckon?
Well, they might have. I don't want to say they've clocked this one off, but the Gold Coast have emptied the bench out here. You can see a couple of players out there jumping around just to try and get warm because they've spent the game on the sideline, and that's a pretty cold-looking shot too. We've all been there.
Hard to come off the bench.
We've all been there.
Throw off the blankets.
You're
gonna die wondering.
Points. He's got 8 rebounds as well, so he's setting himself up for potentially a little double-double. And he's done it with foul trouble all along as well. Floats into the lane.
There's that man Longford there with another putback.
Baskets.
Turnover for the Mountaineers. Got it back to 20. They make a little push here. Longford to Pack. The Twin Towers operating inside. Pack keeps at it.
A little unlucky there, but working hard down there. There's Apesh Pack.
Let's go, keep energy up.
It's the Rollers. Base. That's to
21, hoisting one up there, Trent Schwartz.
Back to 18 here now, so a good little passage for the Mountaineers. Be interesting to see. It is still a comfortable lead, but I don't think Coach Seghetti will want this getting too much closer or anywhere near single figures. So. Ricky finds his way to the line. Throws up a Baricki.
Good review.
0 from 2. Had it stored away there for a special occasion. Allen Whelan dealing down low, Silcock Smith. Pack from long, probably not the shot that Coach Allen would have been looking for Pack. Probably something a little closer to the vicinity of the hoop. Pop. It's in a couple.
Much to the raptures of the bench. They're pretty happy about that one.
Allen spinning.
The lefty.
Top.
Nice play.
Smith. Met him at the rim. Misses the coast to coast. Fairly end-to-end stuff here. Ricky looking to put on a bit of razzle-dazzle.
Did all the hard work there, Noah Silcock-Smith, didn't he? He got the block, led the break, got to the hoop, but just... looking pretty comfortable on the bench. Here are the Rollers.
Hits the floor. Trent Schwartz. Kick out, picked off. Longford. Open lane. Good hard take.
Well, that man, Longford, he doesn't know how to take a bad shot.
After this, we're going to be Burnoff Qualities MVP Awards, judged by independent people.
Successful on the first attempt. Good on the second. 18-point deficit, 6 to play.
This has been better from the Mountaineers. I know the main destroyer in Josh Leaney does sit on the bench, but some good solid play from Toowoomba, reducing this margin there. Bring it back to 18. Dances his way through the 11 there for the Gold Coast. That's James Wall.
Allen. Great pass. Longford again flushes one down. Just getting a couple of late additions to the tally is Longford.
Bang, drops the three.
Cody Marks, we've got timeout on the floor. Gold Coast really are just coasting their way through the fourth quarter. They're happy to probably sit there. They're bigger guns, getting a well-earned break. Some guys that may not see as much court time are getting their opportunity out on the court, and they've done well. They've been able to hold the deficit somewhat around that 20-point margin. So as this one, I suppose it nearly fizzes out really for the last 5 minutes, unless Mountaineers can pull something out of the hat.
And they're going to have to do that and get on a roll very, very quickly. We'll see if they can do that. 5 minutes 17 to play here in the fourth quarter. Live stream sponsor tonight is Stone Streets. You're seeing their ads pop up in the interval here. Let's have a look and see how the Gold Coast. You can see John Seghetti there revving up the troops for this final 5 minutes.
And we still see that full court pressure again, reaping benefits for the Gold Coast. So they haven't liked that in the backcourt, the Mountaineers. That's been right from the start.
Yeah, it certainly led to turnovers, poor passes, or inbound to Toowoomba here. Josh Allen settles at top of the key. Bailey Minovu back top to Noel Silcox-Smith. Longford finds his position down there on that block. Looks to turn out of that. Silcox-Smith looks at the three, gets into the lane, puts up the jump shot. That one falls short.
It's very stagnant in offence
All of a sudden.
again for the Mountaineers. So the ball handler seems to be carrying the load of responsibility to make something happen. Whoa.
He liked that too. Under the hands, a little hop on the spot.
Hand in the cookie jar. Again, Allen off the dribble, trying to get something created.
Just not a lot of ball movement. This one's sort of fizzling out a bit here. Let's see if Toowoomba can come up with in the last one. Little step back. That's good.
Didn't look like missing. A little raw from Wall too.
A few bang bangs from the bench as well.
Plays 65, timeouts. Called by the home team, the Mountaineers. So I think it may get to the case whilst the game is all but gone. Daryl Allen doesn't want this one to end up a total humiliation, I think, on the scorecard.
Which it has the potential to do so. So I think a smart timeout here. See what you can get out of this last 3 minutes 50. You'd probably just want to see your team execute a bit of offense, not have it just deteriorate into that stagnant offense where we see it just in one person's hands and just trying to create opportunity. Because as we've said many a times, this Toowoomba team looks really good when they move the ball. We've got those big guys that are able to operate inside, and we've seen them produce some really good offense.
Exactly, in patches, and then it's the challenge for both the men and the women teams to be able to put together those patches into a more complete performance. So if they are to be able to start filling that win column, it's something that they'll need to be able to change in the forthcoming weeks. You see Allen pop out the top, loses his dribble, so short on options. Longford spins, dish, Roach, fades. It's good. Passage of play.
And that's what we're talking about. Ball gets through several sets of hands. Plenty of movement.
Roach. Oh, you wanted that in front. Allen pulls up. Jumper's good.
Josh Allen drops another 2. So good life shown by the Mountaineers outside of that timeout. Let's see if they can add another bucket here. Silcox-Smith.
Oh, Allen, a few circus tricks.
Count the bucket.
Whoa, really come alive here.
Hasn't he?
On the back end, getting his opportunity.
He's had a big fourth quarter.
Free to play, Silcox-Smith. Still that relentless pressure we've seen from the Rollers all game. It's Allen. Foul on the rebound, hold there. Bit undersized.
Want to move. Allen.
It's Longford drawing the double team. Gets his way out of it, gets his own board.
Padding the stats, technical foul. Cool, the 14. Cody Marks had a remark, which wasn't appreciated there by the referee. It'll be one timeout. This could be a timeout for a spray for Marks. So if we can get the camera inside the huddle, this would be a good one to listen to, I think, from the Coach Saghetti.
Looks pretty relaxed. Hasn't even got out of his seat.
As we go, 2 minutes to play, 71 plays 96, so it's going to be a comfortable victory for the visiting Rollers. So they've made the trek up their hill here on the Friday evening, so a fair effort just to get up and get involved. But one which they will reap the rewards and go home with their with another win in the win column.
An impressive team as well, Steve. I'd say, you know, of the teams we've seen so far, we've seen some good teams, but these guys, you can see they've definitely got some. They've got some weapons out there.
Yeah, exactly. None more so than big Josh Leaney, who was asserted his authority, set the tone early on for the Rollers, and really they haven't really looked back from there. Mountaineers clung on and tried to stay in touch, but it was just a bridge too far.
He's been the most dominant individual player we've seen this season, by far.
Yeah, certainly has been. So inside, outside, he did the full package. So probably an exciting future lies ahead.
He's a young man you think you'll see at the next level, NBL 1?
Yeah, definitely. He'll definitely get his opportunity, I would think, whether it's with the Gold Coast down there. I'm not sure if they have an NBL 1 team. I know the Seahawks have aspirations, and I'm guessing most associations will do. So, but whether it is at the Gold Coast, whether it is somewhere else, I dare say he will get an opportunity, and he won't look out of place in an NBL 1 competition.
Absolutely, he's got a great skill set, as we've spoken about so many times. That just, as I said, it's not just offensively. Lovely little move. You see the bench showing their appreciation for it as well. Might see a few little celebrations in the Gold Coast if they can off a few here in the dying seconds.
Allen pulls up a little ginger from that attack. Two for two for Allen.
20-point margin, under a minute to play. Scoop shot there, slides out.
Oh, this could bring the house down.
There's a few more offensive rebounds. They wanted that one to drop in front of the bench.
It's Allen. It's an easy two. Out on the break, 30 seconds to play. We draw to the conclusion. This one, but we're going to prolong it a little longer. The foul up the court on Longford. Palethorpe checks in for the last 23.5 seconds.
Josh Allen gets a breather. Hits the showers early.
It's Longford, who's had another good night.
Yeah, it'll be a double-double, I'd suggest, for him. What do you have? Half 13 and 8, yeah, for sure. So he's probably got himself again another 20 and 10 night. We've sang his praises week in, week out, but deserves it, Steve. He's just he just does everything for them. And you call him Mr. Efficient again. His shot percentage again, you'd find would be off the charts. His percentage is probably in the 70+%. Works hard, rebound-wise, and as we said, he just always puts himself in a position to get the ball to make an efficient jump shot or to make an efficient offensive play.
Yeah, certainly does. He does that work early off the ball, sets himself up, and makes his life easier, really. So, but all in all, tonight, probably a disappointing night for the Mountaineers. They managed to get to 80 points, 98. You're probably not going to win too many games when you're leaking 98 points in the 40-minute format of the game. So the defensive end will be something that needs to be addressed during the week when we sort of front back up here next Friday. I don't think it'll get any easier for the Mountaineers when the Brisbane Capitals come to town again with a good winning record, 4 starts for 3 wins. So doesn't get any easier, but from a coach's point of view, from a player's point of view, I suppose you want to, again, like the women, they're going to put themselves and challenge against these higher ranked teams to see where they're at, where they need to improve and what they need to do.
Yeah, and that's the hard part at the moment, as you said. Like it's in many cases, it's so close yet so far away, or putting themselves in a position where they have the they're in a position where they can compete and be in games, but there's just drop-offs there, and tonight you saw it, that third quarter.
Yeah.
The third quarter was, take out the third quarter, and again, Josh Leaney didn't play a second of the fourth quarter, but still the third quarter was the one that really crucified the Mountaineers. They scored 7 points or something like that, whatever it worked out to be for that quarter. The Gold Coast blew a 7-point margin out to an unassailable 25 plus or whatever it ended up being. And from there, it was fairly elementary. It just went through the motions.
Good night, Irene, really. So,
yeah.
Coasted it in. They managed to give their bench a bit of run, so they'll be better for the minutes there as well. And all round a pretty solid performance we see from the visitors.
Yeah, so Josh Leaney leading all scorers, 38 in 3 quarters of play. Chris Longford led the Mountaineers with another strong double tonight. But it's been our pleasure to bring you this game with thanks to Stone Streets. So Stone Streets, thank you to Stone Streets, our live stream sponsor for this particular game. On behalf of the Toowoomba Mountaineers, thanks for joining us in the game. Steve will be back with someone Friday.
Next week.
Brisbane.
20-something.
5th.
Brisbane Capitals back in the icebox.
Yeah. Bring a blanket.
Bring
some
a blanket,
feet warmers.
bring some slippers, wear your long johns.
I'm going to go out and see old Alan and grab one of those bright orange Fatburger beanies, to be honest. But anyway, thanks for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We'll see you next week.
just about do, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding.
That much talent run around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Down here, anything's possible. A first degree, a second career, a way to advance. As the #1 uni for graduate employment in Queensland, the University of Southern Queensland has helped over 100,000 students become more from more places, on their own terms, in their own time, with 24/7 access and over 100 online degrees. Become more from more places with USQ.